Hello, hello. Good evening. My glasses are not where they should be once again. There we go. Hello, hello. Why is my game not showing up? Excuse me. Excuse me, OBS. Ah, there we go. Perfect. Perfect. This is exactly how it should be. Ta-da! I didn't set. Oh, yeah. I didn't press enter because I'm a dumbass. There it is. I had the message set up, but I forgot to press send. Thank you. Oh, y'all tonight. I'm proud of you. Thank you, thank you. I'm also very proud of myself. Oh, but commissions like a gamer. Yes, yes. Yes, I wanted... Now I know what I forgot to do. I wanted to mention that on stream. I have commissions open. Yes, for the first time. So I'm like... I sure do not know what I'm doing, but I hope it'll work out. I can afford to. Oh, that's okay. The commissions are going to be open for quite a long time. You got the first dose of the vaccine. You've been feeling fine, except for being very sleepy. I heard a lot of people feel very sleepy after they get it. Yeah, but it's good. That's good that you feel fine. Otherwise. That's very good. Let's start the stream the right way. With Uwu voice. With Uwu voice for the next 2 minutes, okay. Uwu voice it is then. My dad got the vaccine as well, the first shot already. And for him the worst part was like his arm feeling very, like hurting a lot. And just the pain you could not ignore. Kind of always there, not a pulsating pain, just constant pain basically. But otherwise he's also feeling fine, so I'm just hoping Germany gets its shit together, that more people get vaccinated soon. Like, I know I'm not very high up on the priority, so I'm just waiting for them to get done with people who need it more, I guess. But I'd also like it soon. Thank you, Germany. Get your fucking shit together. And then you hear about all those people being like, oh no, crony isn't real. It's all a hoax from the government. I'm like, are you an idiot? Your very small game to recommend very small noise. Very small noise here, very small noise here, yes. Very small noise always open to game recommendations. Very small noise shall hear what you have to recommend. Where did that weird accent come from? I don't know. The flame in the flood. The flame in the flood. What is that? The flame in the flood. Oh, I see a Switch version. Switch version is always nice. Oh, the flame in the flood. Survival adventure. Survival adventure game. Hold on. What is that? Rose light. Ooh. Let's go! Let's go! Let's fucking go! Oh, that looks nice. I'm gonna put it... No, I'm not... Never mind, I'm not logged into Steam. I'm gonna write it down so I don't forget. Man, let's go! Let's go. I want to see backstabby action. There's a dog in it. Need I say more? I'm the dog. The dog I saw in the preview pictures, it didn't look very nice. Or maybe that was a wolf. Bok bok. Wah. Wah wah. Wait, where did I save last time? Ah, right. This is where we saved last time. We're like, who should we talk to? Or like, who do we sense is nearby? And I'm very confused because for some reason that decision is not in the guide I have open. I was like, huh? Well, I would go for Miharu simply because so far we've always gone for Miharu because I think she's connected to the good ending maybe. Are you aware that you're anime? No way! I did not know. Oh my god, thank you so much for the donation. This technique is the right answer, but it doesn't matter what you pick. Money! Money! Money, why did that not play a sound though? I am confusion. Hello? There should have been a sound. No? No sound? Weird. But thank you so much. Why am I... Broskies. Why am I getting a private message? Please, I am streaming. You know I am streaming. What do you want? What do you need? Okay, I'm getting private messages from a friend who just fucking pulled Zhongli in Genshin and was like, is this good? Because she has not played very far into the game. She like did the tutorial several months ago and now she's like, oh, is that good? And I'm like, yes. Yes, you pulled a 5-star character. Of course it's good. Fucking hell. Okay. Back to what we are supposed to do. I'm gonna choose Miharu simply because so far I've always chosen Miharu.
Miharu?
And like there can't... I don't...
聞き間違いじゃなければ僕の名前を呼んでくれたのかいそれは嬉しいな
I am... Haha. Gay.
おはようリンカ
Why are you wearing nice gloves?
あれどうして
Why do you have such fancy gloves? The first thing I see upon waking up is Miharu. She's in her school uniform all ready to go.
僕がここにいるかだね昨日 リンカが電車の火事の中にいたとき僕がリンカを運んだ
Right, we were in an explosion.
あんな場所にいれば病院に運ばれてもマスコミが押し寄せてくるアメちゃんの生徒だと知れれば余計にね
Right, that happened. We were this close
そん
to
な負
dying.
担はかけさせないさ一日経てば世界の改変が起こると思っていたからそこまで大変なことではなかったよなんで私が山手線にいるって分かったの
Also, why are you wearing gloves?
スケールたちと協力関係を結んでいたことが幸いしたよ信用していいのかわからない人たちだけれど彼の情報は正確だった
She slips in an extra comment about how she should have made her way over quicker.
もしかして一晩ずっと隣にいてくれたの一度僕の荷物を取りに家へ帰ったけれどね あんな状態の
If
君を
those
一
two
人に
don't
してはおけない
actually
よ。
end up together by the end of the game, I'm going to be very upset.
ありがとう。
Like,
ほっとした。
please.
それは僕の言葉さ。
I mean, I have seen the game
運命の大
getting
広間で
praised for a lot
君の
of things,
姿
so
を
I
見るこ
don't
とが
think
で
it's
きた
just
けれど、
bait. I think
目
they
覚めないの
actually
ではないか
deliver.
と
Just
不安だ
girls
ったよ。
being pals, just spending time at each other's bedside, caring for your life. I'm not sure what went on while I was unconscious, but it looks like she did what she could to keep me out of trouble. And here I was worrying about the possibility of my real body being taken to a hospital. Waking up in my own room helps me to settle down a bit. I'm a bit sore all around, but other than that, I seem to be fine. Now there's only one thing left for me to worry about.
世界がどうなったか
Hmm.
だね。ユウの件は世界への影響が大きかったから、僕の認識とも相違が大きい。僕もまだ調べきれてはいないけれど、話をさせてもらうよ。その前に、まず学校へ行く準備を済ませてしまったらどうだい？まだ時間はあるけ
Wait,
ど。
Naomi should be alive again now, right? Following her advice, I get ready and make my way downstairs. It should be easier to talk things out down there. Down here. Down here? As always, I make some coffee for the both of us. There's still an hour left. And you get up over an hour before you actually have to be... No, not even before you have to be at school, before you have to leave. Bruh. I got up half an hour before I had to be at work today. Guess I woke up early thanks to all the rest I got. Evo! Evo.
思えば、君とこう
But
するの
why
は
is she wearing gloves
とても
now?
久しぶりだ
The
ね。
world changed and she's wearing gloves.
私の心が完全に折れちゃってたからね。
Wait.
マオが来てくれて、ミハルが頑張ってるって思って、ようやく立ち直れた。
Has she always worn the jacket this way, or am I losing my mind right now?
無理もないさ。それに、僕はいろいろ動いたけれど、結果を出すことができたのは、リンカ、君。
Naomi Steph, that's gotta be what she's about to talk about. Miharu takes a deep breath before she starts.
まず、昨日の爆破テロだ。あの事件は、原因不明の出火による火事とされた。おそらく、列車の経年劣化により、配線の整備不良が
Why can I not remember Rinka wearing the jacket this way? I'm so...
おとといの東京タワーでの一件は、どうやら事件そのものがなかったことになっているらしい。動画の生配信も行われていたが、それを見た人の記憶がどうなっているかわからない。
Oh, so hello! I'm not just losing my mind.
羊さんのように深層心理が覚えていて、夢という形でなかったことになった可能性を見る
I'm
人
betting a
は
bunch of the people that were actually on the train with us will probably dream about it. Naomi is probably dreaming about our original death because she was so close to it.
この点はマオにも聞いてみた方がいいだろう。
Mao has
マオなら
definitely
生配信
seen
を
the
見てい
stream,
てもお
yeah.
かしくはないからね。
Mm-hmm.
以上から推測できるのは、物質の移動や変化は残るけれど、行動は残らないということだね。
Oh no.
ケイコさんの時と同じだ。
But is Naomi back from the death or not? The letter she gave me is a prime example of that. What she had written disappeared after her elimination. The action of her writing a letter had been undone. I have a bad feeling about this. If the changes to Naomi's body are classified as a physical change, then...
まさか。落ち着いてくれ、リンカ。順番に話をするからね。
Listen, give me back my...
さらに時系列を遡ろう。先月、渋谷で不審物が発見されたという事件をきっかけに、テロ組織ヌル日本支部の幹部が逮捕された。それは選定の参加者が命を落とした日。因果の時にユウが起こした山手線爆破テロがなかったことになったから起きた事件だ。
The organization itself was already reaching a breaking point, and then one of the operations failed and resulted in the disappearance of the perpetrator. That led to an insider leaking information and causing them all to get arrested.
この事件も なかったことになっている。いや、時期が変わったと言うべきだろう。彼らはゴールデンウィーク直後、つまりまさに因果の時の直後に逮捕されている。
Just tell me if she's alive or not.
幼い少年の起こした自爆テロに関わってしまったことに恐れをなしたヌル日本支部の内部リークによりね。
あの日、自爆テロは起きていた。
Hughes' call of death has become reality once more. That means he's already dead at this current point in time.
しかし、その時の犠牲者は怪我人が数人。死者は実行犯の少年のみ。
Who's Naomi? I don't know any
あの時点で
Naomis.
彼は持っていないのだったね。
私も今は生きていることになってるからね。でもおかしい。私の奥底に眠る記憶だと他にも死者はいたと。
I don't know. Something in me is like whenever I read stories that have something to do with time, not necessarily skipping, but something changes about time, right? Something changes about time, so I'm like, I always think in the end it's going to be like parallel universe and you just jump from one to another and not just something gets undone. No, I think they're just jumping to a timeline where it didn't happen the way it originally did, so other people don't have the memories of that time. I mean, it doesn't have to be this way in here, right? No way. Doesn't have to, but like in my mind it's always like, maybe there's this. You've got Steins Gate in the brain. Yeah, it's not just Steins Gate that, like, definitely in Steins Gate it happened and it was a very prominent thing, but in the Zero Escape series as well. Oh, well, not as well, but in the third game, without spoiling too much, but in the third game it was a big thingy. So whenever I read stories that have anything to do with we reset things happening in a time zone, and right now because they're wearing their clothes differently, it's making me suspicious. Because I'm like, is this a time zone? Not time zone. Is this a world where they were always like this? Why would they suddenly change how they wear their clothes that we've always seen before? Like, you don't tell your main artist to, oh yeah, draw another sprite with the jacket drawn that way just for shits and giggles. Different type of clothes usually indicate different timelines, right? Like, it's not just me who's getting suspicious here, right? It's not just me being... Hold up. It's making me very... The explosion took place in the middle of a packed train. The only way no casualties would emerge from that is through a miracle. Granted, you could probably call divine selection and its alterations to fate a type of miracle. That's too easy. Yeah, that's too easy to just blame it on, well, fate had to keep you alive. Fuck fate! Why would it make it so difficult though? The Sea of Flames pop into mind once more. Her theory makes sense. All the same, that's not what I'm interested in right now. I'd made it a point to settle things with fate. I want to know the results. Just say, oh yes, the one went off badly and only killed you, right? I mean, that's what the game is saying. Other people were just like a little injured, but the only one who died was you. I mean, there were other people. Like in the original, when you, in the beginning of the game, the train was packed because they were on during, at like 5 p.m. when the train was at its busiest. So like, train was absolutely packed. If a bomb goes off in a train that packed, there's going to be more than just one guy dead and a few people injured. Rinka isn't dead here, then she isn't in Divine Selection. What? No, she's still in Divine Selection. It's weird. It's weird when they have two people who were part of the game. They didn't. You're also paranoid. Yeah. And it's going to be like, I hear myself gulp in anticipation. I have a bad feeling about it, but I also don't doubt myself. If I do, then.
文化祭の日に起きた私立アメチャ女子大学附属高校の爆破テロはなかったことになっている。
Cut and try. You died in Rinka, but not Naomi.
けれど、文化祭の倉庫として使っていた空き教室から出火し、その教室が焼け焦げたという事件は存在している。
嘘。それってだって。
My breathing goes ragged all of a sudden. It almost feels like my heart is completely stopped.
ただし、死者はゼロだ。
Okay.
じゃあ、それって。
My pulse returns to normal when I hear that. The sudden fluctuation leaves me a bit lightheaded. If there were no casualties, then Naomi didn't lose her life. Which means she's alive. Naomi's alive. Miharu seems less than enthused though. It doesn't take long to figure out why.
ただし、やけどをしている可能性も、後遺症が残っている可能性も捨てきれない。
Yeah.
火事そのもの。
But she's not dead. Let's be positive here, Miharu. She's not dead.
それに情けないことだけれど、僕も少し怖い。もし生きてはいても、羊さんの身に何かが。そう思うと、真央や本人に連絡する勇気が湧かなかった。
There's just one thing, like that's maybe just me though, but it's a little upsetting to me that they didn't make it a point in the English translation to change, because she doesn't call Naomi by her first name. I get that they didn't want to keep the honorifics in it, which is fine, but like they should have made it a point that you could understand, okay, she does not call Naomi by her first name, she calls Naomi by her last name. Because there's a difference between her being friends with Mao and calling her Mao and calling Naomi, I don't remember her last name, but Hitsushi-san.
君の掴んだ現実がどうなっているかわからないから。
Let's go check it out then!
なんだ、そんなことか。心配する必要はないよ。だって、
Why, what's Switch doing?
生きていれば不幸になんてさせないから。
くす。やはり君は強いね。
そんなことないよ。いろんな人の助けを借りなきゃ大切なものを守れないくらい。
I thought there was no. Aww. Hello! No, I didn't get a notification, I'm sorry. But on the other hand, something about my notifications is off anyway. Like... something isn't right here. I'm ordering food, and if you want anything, I throw the food on my screen, you can catch it. Ooh! Ooh! Ooh, what food are you ordering? What food are you ordering? I just said dinner, but I... What? Popeyes, it's a chicken place. Ah, no food for me then. What? Oh, there we go. Now my notifications are also updated. For some reason the activity thingy on OBS is not working tonight. I don't eat meat. Do you take mashed potatoes or fries? That's also an option. Ooh, fries. Fries are good. Fries are always good. I I could eat fries every day, which would probably not be very healthy, but I could do it.
君がそう思うならそれでいいけれど、少なくとも君が生きるべきだと再確認できたのは事実だ。
No, we will both live. I will change fate. Fuck you. Well, no, fuck you, but
ミハル、それはもう
I will fight
違う
fate.
よ。
It also didn't charge me on PayPal. God, this is weird. Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe Twitch is having hiccups. It's going to charge you at some point. I mean, you can. It's definitely taking into account that you're sub now. I mean, you can use emotes, right? So, thank you. I may not have gotten a notification, but thank you for the sub. I haven't said that yet, I think. Miharu reacts by giving me a puzzled look. I decide to explain myself.
生きるべきとかじゃない。生きたいかどうかが大事なんだ。
リンカ、
Yes.
君は
I want to see all the other people backstab each other. I'm going to cry if we get more backstory on Odette, probably. It is the end of the day. No, there's still a few hours left.
私はもうブレないよ。生きることに悩まない。でもね、もう一つ決めたことがある。
What week is this? The eighth week, I think. So 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 5 more weeks. And this time I said 5 and not 4, and not the other way
それは
around.
ソーニャも言っていたことなんだ。私たちは一度その可能性を考えた。でもナオミのことがあって
Challenge fate.
忘れてた。
Challenge fate. Let's challenge fate.
だから改めて言うよ。私たちは二人で。いや、ってちょっと。
He's like, no. I decide fate, fuck you. Just as I'm about to give Miharu a big determined speech, a listless voice interrupts. It's none other than Death, though, of course. Pretty unusual to see it walking around in the morning. It makes its way over to the table we're sitting at before planting once more.
いやあ、はじめましてだね。
Who says hajimemashite to a fucking cat? Miharu.
あれ、そうだっけ。
話には聞いていたから、あまり初めてという気はしないけれどね。
Will anyone please tell me why the clothes are different?
なんか気が抜けちゃった。
There's no one mentioning it.
そ
Game?
れくらいがちょうどいいさ。昨日までの激動の日々がようやく終
I
わ
thought
った
we
ん
were
だ。
supposed to go to school?
ずっと気を張っていたら、それこそ気が持たない
We,
だ
we,
ろ
we, yeah?
しかし、このね、
レテがどうかした？
レテ。そうか。この子の名前はレテだったね。
You just want to change things up. No, I don't trust anything you say. When you say like, yeah, you made me even more suspicious.
珍しい名前だから気になっただけかな。慣れてもいいか
Yeah,
い？
Rinka's change is like small, but Miharu is like, huh?
あれ、ミハルって動物苦手じゃなかったっけ？
苦手じゃなくて嫌いだよ。けれどね、
That's
この子もきっと
some interesting
リンカを
reasoning,
支えて
Miharu.
くれていたのだろう。だったらお礼をしないといけないよ。
I don't know. I have trouble understanding why people would not like animals, like, at all. I get being bad with animals or having had bad experiences, but like, I don't know. I find it a little weird when you're like, oh, I generally do not like animals. I'm like, what did they ever do to you? You know? It's just... Miharu extends a hand toward Letha nice and slow. You can tell she's not used to dealing with them.
大丈夫だよ。ほら。ああ。
It's not often that you get to hear Miharu shout in surprise. It has me grinning at first, but I come to regret that pretty quickly.
ミハル。
She falls off her chair before she can pet Letha and crashes onto the
ミ
floor.
ハル大丈夫？ごめんね。
We?
見させちゃって。
違う。 君のせいではないよ。この猫に触れようとしたら急に張り付いてしまってね。
Huh? I helped her back up to her chair. Her body's far more slender than I had imagined, but it's also so soft.
何だったんだ今のは。
もしかしてミハル、本能的に動物ダメなのかもね。ほらレテ、
Please realize that something is weird with the world. The smell of the food seems to do the trick, as Letha meanders off to the backyard.
失礼した。大丈夫、落ち着いたよ。話を戻すけれど、つまり羊さんの正体は会ってみるまでわからない。
That makes sense. Is there a difference in the card book? No, we only see the faces in the card book. Never mind. Are you for fucking real? There's nothing wrong about this world.
わかった。私よりもずっと早くして調べててくれたんだよね。ありがとう。ナオミが生きていると分かったから、私は何も心配してないよ。
ああ、嬉しいな。
It's small changes, but that's what makes it even weirder.
そろそろいい時間だろう。学校へ行こうか。
We both make our way to school once I wash up the mugs we used.
そういえば、学校はどうなってたの？先週私サボったことになってないかな。
伝え忘れていたね。爆破事故と火災のせいで1週間休校だったのさ。
Okay, a school.
だから僕たち
Well, okay, a fire is a big thing
状
actually.
況はそう変わらないと思うよ。
But I can't imagine a school actually closing for a week. They would be like, okay, just don't go over there. We'll just have class in a different classroom. You come to school.
なら大丈夫だね。お待たせ。じゃあ行こう。
We take in the clear blue sky while we walk toward Armitage.
いや、久々の学校は疲れますな。
Okay, you still look the same.
半分以上寝て過ごしてしまったのだ。
Top floor is in danger of collapsing. Just go up there. That makes perfect sense. I mean, if the top floor is in danger of collapsing, I feel very safe being under it. What?
マオの場合、
Mao looks the same.
いや、しかし1週間も休みっていうのはちょっとやりすぎだよね。
Are you kidding me?
さすがのうちも暇を持て余しちゃったよ。リータンもミハルもここぞとばかりにお仕事してたみたいだし。
Seems like the world has changed things up after all. The pivotal moment I shared with Mao has been undone. That was the first time I'd ever seen her cry. But now I'm the only one who knows just how strong and compassionate she can be. I'm pretty sure Lionhouse was closed all week, so I can only assume I lied to her about walking. Guess I should check last week's bills and stuff when I get back. Oh crap, I need to get in touch with Gran as well. Chances are I haven't done so in a while. I can't help but smirk as I remember all of this.
まあ、一番大変なのは
Fifty
ナオリ
guardian
ンだよね。
classmate after the rest of them below it, so we had to. Yeah. I don't get schools. I'm so glad I'm not in school anymore. I make sure to give a vague reaction. Mao follows up.
目の前で爆発が起きてさ。怪我はなかったからいいものの、現場にいた分、マスコミにもい
Oh
ろいろ
gosh, she
聞かれ
wasn't
ただ
hurt.
ろうし。
Okay. Thank you, game.
大部分は学校が対応して守ってくれたみたいだけどさ。
For me, school is very
それ
inconsistent
で
but
もど
very
こから
snowy
か
weather.
ナオリンの
Sometimes
ことを
sometimes
探すんでしょ。
Okay, I have never had school cancelled because of snow. The snow we had here was never that bad. It was a pain to get to school sometimes, and also cold as fuck, but they never cancelled it because the streets were literally undrivable. Texas school and grocery store is below 5. We're close to 10. What, be below 5 Celsius or Fahrenheit? Because I think if it's below 5 Fahrenheit, you're going to die. Even though I don't know how much or how little 5 Fahrenheit is, like Celsius. Yeah, that makes sense.
せっかく文化祭のために一生懸命頑張ったのに1日目で終了だもんね。
I know.
対応は正しいのかもだけど、せめて中止じゃなくて延期にすればよかったのに。
See a snowflake and scream snow day. Meanwhile, here it has like almost 40 degrees Celsius, and they're like, no, it's not that hot. You guys should suffer in the upper floors of school. Oh my fucking god. Yo, buddy, I am streaming. Can you not bleed?
あ、ナオリンはこれからリーターのところでアルバイトとして雇ったらどう?
Buses might be stuck, but it's not an excuse to be upset. Yeah, just walk there. Mao's words are going in one ear and out the other by this point. Mao isn't part of divine selection, so hearing her say Naomi's fine has me over the moon.
あ、ごめん。ちょっとぼーっとしちゃって。
リーターもまだ休み気分が抜けてませんな。さて、そろそろお昼を買いに。先輩。
Yes! The village 50 kilometers over, that's fun, yeah. A voice rings out just as Mao urges me toward the cafeteria. A voice that hits me like a ton of bricks. It almost feels like I've lost all the strength in my body. It doesn't last long, however, as I find myself sprinting toward the source of the voice immediately. Thank you, Duolingo. Fun fact, no spreads of strawberry and oranges. Do I? Do I? I like strawberries a lot. I think smelling like strawberries would be very fun. Is this some sort of furry joke? Oh, we're feeling furry tonight. No, it's probably because of the hair, isn't it?
Naomi!
Baby!
ちょっとどうしたんですか、リンカ先輩。
Oh, she's still not wearing her glasses though, so where did her glasses get broken? Oh wait, the hospital thing happened anyway. Yeah, never mind.
Naomi! よかった。Naomi!
Will Naomi only get her, like, how long does it take her to get new glasses? Or is it just, oh well, actually I have lenses, so I just put those in and I will wear them until the end of the game. Everyone's staring, but I don't care. I hug her with everything I have. Fortunately, my face is buried in her clothes, so nobody can see the tears welling up in my eyes.
仕方ないな。
ミハルンが怒ってない。ちょっとどうしたんですか？
ごめん。もうちょっとだけ。
You're not dead!
このままでいさせて。
You like died, but you're back!
リータンが告った。
No, it's not.
それは違う。今くらいはいいさ。
Wow, that was harsh. I spent the next 5 minutes hugging her tight. Most of the time I spent waiting for my tears to recede. Those who don't understand the situation, Mao included, probably assume I've gone off the deep end. Rumors are going to spread fast, but I don't care.
生きていてくれてありがとう。
Saying that is just going to confuse her more, considering she doesn't remember what happened. Even so, I have to say it.
お邪魔します。
She's like,
お待たせ。羊さんとはちょうどそこで出くわしてね。
Tsuji-san. Just some girls having valuable poem moments. Yes. Miharu and Naomi come to Lionhouse after school. After I looked into it, turns out I closed the store for the week due to my being ill. I made sure to tell my granddad that it'd be open as usual starting tomorrow. Miharu and Naomi saunter over to our usual table. Once there, I sit down next to Miharu. The reason for them both being here is obvious. We're going to fill Naomi in on everything. I wasn't sure how much I should tell her at first, but I think it's best if we reveal everything. It's entirely possible that things could repeat themselves if I keep certain things from her.
女神の選定な ことですね。
She also looks the same, so maybe it's only the participants looking different? There's no way I can keep this from her. Naomi seems to understand too.
どこまで覚えてるの？
The gloves!
私が覚えているのは文化祭の前日、
Are making me
公園で
upset.
リンカ先生と二人きりで話して、
二人きりで
Miharu, please. Naomi gives Miharu a panicked look of apology before turning attention back to me.
それで文化祭の日にゆう
Ha-
くんの
she
姿を
does remember the explosion.
追いかけた先の教室で、その後の私の記憶は意識を失って病院で目を覚ましたってところから始まります。熱中症のような症状で目立った外傷はな
Think
し。
about to tell someone that was Miharu trying to sell you car insurance. No!
でもなぜか
She's like, buy the special pancake set at my workplace or die.
曖昧で休校になっている間に本を読んだり遊んだりしてたはずなのに、あんまり覚えてなくって、 その間に読んだ本も手帳に書いてあるんですけど、内容をあんまり覚えていないんです。そして何より夢を見るんです。ゴールデンウィーク直前、
Naomi's going to be fucking traumatized, even though she didn't technically live through these
同
things.
じくらいの現実感。
No. Divine selection isn't Thor, is it? No. I mean, look at the goddess that... Wait, actually the god... Like, Parker is not the one who's in charge of the game. She's just like there, but it's not her decision, right? She said that at some point, so someone else is even higher than her and is like, lol, funny game.
でもそれが本当に
Just give her memories of reading books. I haven't read them either. No. We did read books because we tried to look up... What were we searching for? When we were searching for Keiko's cause of death, we were reading a bunch of books about pregnancy and stuff. That's what she remembers. And she wrote down all those titles.
ナオミはもう
I
それが
think
どういう意味か
it's been a while.
はい、私はその時
Funny no go.
死んでしまっていた。そして犯人はゆうくんだった。ゆうくんが脱落した後、選定期間中の行動がなかったことになった。だから私を殺した彼の行動も
Kind of awkward to talk like, oh, when you died, but now you're not dead anymore.
なるほど。羊さんの場合は記憶の改変具合が他の人より大きいという推測くらいしか今はできないけれど、君は世界が改変された2つの記憶を比較的はっきりと持っている。
Imagine how the participants
そ
feel.
こまで理解しているなら、この件については僕たちからこれ以上話すこともないだろう。辛い記憶だ。不用意に思い出させるのは忍びない。
Please ask her if you've always been wearing clothes. Yeah, you've always been wearing clothes. Oh my god. Gloves.
三島先輩、ありがとうございます。それで
No, Rika eliminated him.
すみませんでした。
You're the society different. No!
先輩がゆうくんを脱落させたんです。
No!
私のためにそんな。
We love you. You are baby.
羊さん、それは。
いいんだよ。
Are you sure Miharu before I continue?
でも美晴の言う通り、ナオミが謝ることは何もない。ユウの指名は私の意思で決めたことなんだ。まあいろいろ大変だったんだ。他の参加者たちと協力したり、拳銃を持たされたりして。
You never even used the gun though. I mean, yes, she did have the gun, but did she ever actually shoot it? No. Naomi stares in awe as I explain the sequence of events, how I worked together with Odette and Ellen to prevent the attack on Tokyo Tower, how I witnessed yet another explosion on a train. I go on talking for a while, long enough that we have to take a break in the middle of my story. Miharu probably knows the gist of the situation, but this is the first time I've talked to her about it properly. Needless to say, she seems almost as surprised as Naomi. I think you remember the gun you threw at the guy you eliminated, yeah. I mean, the participants remember everything that happens, even if the events get undone. The gun stuff's probably way more of a big deal from a Japanese perspective. Yeah, true. To be fair though, like... No. I held a gun in my hand before, so I wouldn't be as upset as her probably. But yeah, definitely. In Japanese society, I think the normal person would not see or touch a gun normally. Like, not at all. I mean, Americans are Americans, and here in Europe, there's definitely a way to get guns in a legal way. Okay, I'm talking in a legal way here because of, what's it called? I held a BB gun at a fair once, I guess they can do that too. What's it called when you, I guess, shoot for sport? Well, not shoot for sport. Shooting for sport is fucking awful, but like, when you're part of a club, I guess, where you, because in Germany we have a bunch of examinations you have to take to be able to wield a gun and own a gun and have being in a gun function and have ammunition for it and everything. So there's a bunch of trials you have to go through, but a bunch of my family or extended family members are in there because, like, oh yay, we take care that the areas around us don't get overpopulated, so they do marksmanship exams. Yeah, I don't know what it's called. Hold on. For military, no. What I mean is, like, there's people who take care of the forests and stuff and the animals that live there, right? So they take care, there's not too many deer, there's not too many... What lives in a forest? A bunch of things live in a forest, and I cannot remember the English names for any of them right now. But, you need a gun license. Yeah, but, like, extended family is part of, like, that's not what it's called, a gun club, where they just shoot at, not at animals, but at targets and stuff, but like with real guns at a shooting place, whatever. That is not how you English. I have never thought about that. Hunting club, but it's at a range. Yeah, something like that. So I've definitely also held a gun in my hand, but I've never shot one. So. I don't know why I went on a tangent here. Let's just continue with the game. Little 3-year-old new technique is going, yeah, no! You know the vine, what you got there? A knife! No! But it's just me! What you got there? A gun! No! Gun as big as my head. Gun.
でもね、だからミハルを犠牲にするなんてことはできない。私の世界にはミハルもナオミもマオもおばあちゃんも猫のユテだって大切なものがいないとダメなんだ。
In one hand, I have a comically large spoon. In the other, gun.
ソーニャがいつか言ってたよね。運命が悪いように変わるの。いいようにも変わるって。私 私はいい人でいるのをやめる。私にとって都合のいいように。
You have my sword, you have my shield, and you got my Glock. No, what's that meme? I don't know.
方法は
The
分からな
funny
いけど
spoon.
まだ何も分から
The
ない。
funny spoon.
少なくともナオミを助けることはできた。だから私はミハルと二人で生き残る。その可能性を見
Please
つけてみ
someone
せる。
talk about the gloves, I'm going to go crazy. I'm well aware that I have no leads whatsoever when it comes to how I'll accomplish this. Still, I want my intentions to be clear. This is the first step toward realizing that desire.
申し訳ないけれど僕は賛同できないな。
So, I don't care how slim the odds
なさすぎ
are.
るだろう。
I removed the bunk because I couldn't figure out how to get it to work, so I took it out. Yeah. I will put it back in as soon as I can figure out how to make it work on stream as well, because for some reason it didn't work off stream either. Still no funny juice. No, I'm sorry. It's just not working the way I want it to, and that's making me very mad. But thank you for the posture check and the hydro time. Give me a second. I love my funny juice. Oh, nice. Nice crack today.
そう言うと思ってた。
三島先輩、でももしそんな方法があれば。
しかし僕たちが最後の二人にならなければ
So,
何も成し遂げられないことに変わりはないさ。
so
そう言うとも思ってた。だからそれまでに何か手が
what's
かり
the
を。
problem with us two being the last two remaining? How else would you try to make me the last one remaining if you don't stay by my side the entire time? Huh? Huh? Miharu!
なんだかもう私の出る幕はないって感じになっちゃう。
Miharu probably like, oh, I will sacrifice myself for your sake. And I was like, no. No.
違う。学園祭が終わったら改めてって言ったで
Something
しょ。
fly into my eye just now.
だからこれ
This
は
is great.
お願い。ここからは私たち3人で戦おう。
Yes.
相手は
What if we just
他の
don't
参
know my
加者
divine
じゃない。
selection? There's no 12
私
ruling.
たちの運命だ。
I'm finally able to say it. Perhaps I've wanted to say this ever since divine selection began. It wasn't possible before. I lacked the resolution required to do so. But things are different now. I fully accepted my desire to live.
あくまで
No more
という
depression!
前提ではあるけれど賛成させてもらうよ。
I mean, what would happen if just no one, at this point, no one eliminates anyone anymore and we come to the 12th week and we go to that place? What would happen then? We're like 7 people or something. Wait, are we though? How many people are we right now?
私
I'm so sorry. Wait, we are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Sorry, we're 6 people right now. And we are in the 8th week.
ありがとう。
Both of them smile at me, and I smile back.
では僕はバイトがあってね。
Five in
ここで
Florida,
失礼
man.
させてもらうよ。
Listen, if the next... I said this last time. If the next person who gets eliminated is Odette, I will be very mad. Because then there's literally no woman left. Aside from Rinka and Miharu being... And Rinka and Miharu are like kids. In my head. Not kids like you and Sonia, but still children. You seem so out of place in there, yeah. I feel like he is way more calculating than he lets on, because right now he looks like, for some reason he looks almost, he acts almost the same as Federico does, and we know Federico is a mafia man, but also he is a bit dumb at some points in the story. But I don't think our Mr. Florida man is a stump. Like, no, the info he gets, he definitely has connections to something really big. That said, Miharu makes a way out. A way out. A way out. A Way Out was a very nice game, by the way.
ミハル、隠し事はもうなしにしようよ。
Calculating Florida Man, connected Florida Man.
スケールさんたちと会いに行くんでしょ。
I follow after Miharu when she exits Lion House. I asked Naomi to stay inside before running off though. I want to speak with Miharu alone.
ああ、そうだ。僕は彼らと協力してオデット、アランの両名を脱落させる。そして協力関係を維持しつつ。
I don't know, I don't want Miharu involved with the elimination of Alan and Odette because I feel like she's going to suffer. Because Alan and Odette are not going to let themselves get eliminated that easily.
性質としては悪だね。まさか君はこの後に及んで人を裏切ることはいけないとでも言うつもりかい？
That's fine, Miharu. It's just a little backstabbing action.
違うよ。ミハルにはさ。
On the other hand, Miharu is the only one in the group of Florida Man and Federico and Odette who does not take Odette as lightly. Miharu is definitely aware that Odette has... Let me be evil for you, Rinka. Anything for you.
そうじゃないだろう。
Miharu stares at me in response to my outburst.
ごめん、怒っちゃった。でも聞いて、私はミハルの行動に文句を言うつもりはない。むしろ逆。私はもう一人でミハルに背負
We're
わせたくはない。
literally the only person who is not involved in the possible backstabbing of either of these two groups.
私も一緒に背負わせて
Like,
ほしい。
we stopped working together with Alan and Odette.
私も
We are aware that they are aware that they... Oh god, no! I will not finish that sentence. That's a wormhole I don't... A can of worms I don't want to open up, not a wormhole.
いや、そういう意味じゃ。
まあいいさ。君の気持ちは嬉しいけれど、気持ちを受け取るにとどめておくよ。さっきも言っただろ。僕たちはまず最後の二人にならなくてはならないんだ。
Rika now has her own problem with depression too.
君はその先の方法だけを探せばいい。
Depression is so good. Why is there no depression
君
too?
にははっきり言わなくては伝わらないね。他の参加者のことは僕に任せてくれ。今回の件も君は自ら危険に飛び込んだ。運命に縛られて死なないだけで、火災というのは火傷のような外傷だけでなく、煙や酸欠空気による内臓への損傷の危険性もあるんだ。
That is true. Ouch, Jesus Christ.
何度も指摘してきたはずだ。君は他の参加者に深入りしすぎる。だからね、君が運命と立ち向かうと決めたのは僕にとって朗報だったよ。
ミハル、まさか私を他の参加者から遠ざけるためにさっきは同意したの？もしかしてミハルは運命に勝てるなんて思っていないの？
さて、そろそろ行かないとバイトに遅れてしまう。
This was between a
短時
murderer
間の
and
シフ
her
トだけれど、
cut of his
入っているのは嘘じゃないんだ。
Right? And not just her murderer, Naomi's murderer as well.
私は信じてるよ。私たちなら運命を変えられるって。
僕もリンカを信じている。
Yo,
それ以上に
just
リンカを愛している。
just put a confession in there. No big deal. Saying that, Miharu makes her way to the station. There was nothing I could say to her after that. I had no comeback. It's a fact that I lack information on both the other participants and how to ensure our mutual survival. All I'm doing right now is speaking of a scenario I want to see happen. That's why Miharu brushed me off. I doubt she'd only fill me in on the bare minimum like she did previously at least. Either way, I intend to do things differently as well.
運命を変える方法を私は見つけるよ。
Do not mind me making weird noises. I'm just... Miharu's already determined to make nothing but progress. She has been ever since divine selection began. The same has to apply to me now. I don't want her lying for my sake anymore. Okay. All this and it's literally just the Monday. Classic Monday. My response leaves her a bit surprised. I'm aware of how smart Naomi is. There's no doubt she realized what we were arguing over.
でもだからこそ私はちゃんと2人とも生き残れる方法がないか探すんだ。手がかりは完全にないってわけじゃないんだ。例えばこの本、女神の選定のものって思い込んで最初に考えるのをやめちゃったけどさ、デザインとか想定とかもっと注意して調べてみるべきかもしれない。
先輩、それを調べてどうするつもりなんですか？
女神の選定。女神そのものを知る。
We've been so focused on a dream world and the events in the real world being altered that we simply accepted everything about it. We never once tried to go against the rules because we let ourselves be convinced that we shouldn't. In reality, though, we should have let ourselves question the very nature of divine selection.
それに、まずパルカって名前を調べるべきなのかな。私は全然詳しくないけど、神話とかそういうのもあるよね。
それならちょっと力になれるかもしれません。私、神話のことを調べてたんです。
Well, I don't know any goddesses named Parker, but that doesn't mean there can't be any that actually exist.
結局、神話は神話だなって思って気にしていなかったんですけど、今はどんな情報が役に立つかわからないですもんね。
Naomi whips out her notepad and flips to the first pages. She must have written stuff down while researching. After reading through them a bit, she turns her attention back to me.
パルカっていうのはローマ神話の運命の女神の総称のようです。デキマ、ノーナ、モルタっていう3種類がいるそうで、それぞれギリシャ神話のモイラっていう運命の女神と対応している。I deleted everything to do with Roman 書いてありました。
mythology and just straight up Latin from my brain because I hated having to take Latin. Horrible language. No one speaks anymore.
運命の女神。パルカが夢の世界で言っていたのと同じだね。運命の大広間に運命の大時計。時計、歯車。夢の世界はそういうもので作られていた。私たちに割り当てられた12の番号も。
I guess there's no backstabbing action right now. Right now is the let's find out more about the mythological being in charge of our game.
ギリシャ神話のクロノスって神様の方が有名ですよね。
でも私たちの使命、死因、未練のカードは現在。
運命を時間で表現しているってことなんでしょうか。そういえばリンカ先輩のカードブックも歯車みたいな飾りがついてますよね。時計の中身って歯車がたくさんありましたよね。だから歯車から時計から時間、時間から運命をそれぞれ連想できるようになって。
Like it's convenient, yes, but isn't it a stretch?
本だったら稀に
The wheel of fate is turning. Level 1. Action.
でも夢の世界のモチーフが分かったってだけだよね。全然真に迫ってる気がしない。
I will play Blaze Blue Story Mode on stream at some point. I miss those games. I want to read that fucked up story again.
ちょっと待ってください。それっておかしくないですか？
Why did you do that in Uber voice? What? Wait, what?
おかしい。ナオミ、何か気づいた？
The Wheel of Fate is turning thing?
いえ、そういうわけでは。でも、はるかさんっていうのは女神様なんですよね。
That wasn't on purpose. It's because the announcer in the first place, Blue, says it like that. I don't know about the other announcers, but in the first place, Blue, when it was like this. The wheel of fate is turning. Hold on. You've played Blaze with no worries. Okay. Come on. Give me the sound. Oh.
偽りの英雄。
その器で僕に話しかけるな。不愉快だ。
The wheel of fate is turning. Rebel 1. Action.
No, that's not from the first game. Never mind. Yeah, ever since I played the first playthrough, it's been like I see Wheel of Fate, and then we're like, the Wheel of Fate is turning. Rebel 1 action. It immediately plays in my head.
パルカは夢の世界っていう人間の認識できないものを認識できるように作ったって言ってた。だから人々の思う運命の女神っていうイメージから時計とか歯車とか
Is it though? You could also just literally be in a space of absolutely nothing. We just made the connections there ourselves, in fact. Plus, one's personal perception plays a vital role in the contents of one's own cards.
そうなんですけど、ごめんなさい。リンカ先輩の言う通りなんですけど、ちょっとだけ変な感じがして。
謝らなくていいよ。ナオミが感じた違和感は大切にして。私たちはそういうのを持たずに目の前の出来事を受け入れちゃってたわけだし。
Naomi nods but still looks somewhat apologetic. I can't quite understand what she must be feeling in all honesty. Chances are part of me is still convinced there's no point in overthinking things because Parker's a goddess. And here I was telling myself I'd quit that sort of thinking not long ago.
でもやっぱりあんまり役に立てませんでした。
That's not true.
そんなことないよ。ありがとう。
I should have figured something was up far sooner. Yet Naomi here is the one to go ahead and do the research before I even noticed.
さて、今日はここまでかな。ねえ、ナオミ。明日の放課後、図書館に一緒に行ってくれない？
Yes.
図書館。はい、もちろんです。
ありがとう。明日はカードブックについて調べよう。
It's already dark out, so I walked Naomi to the station. She said she'd be fine, but Odette knows all about Lionhouse, which means Alan probably knows too. I can't see them focusing their efforts on me at this point, but even so, I'd rather not let Naomi walk around at night on her own. Yeah, she died one too many times already. We don't want her involved in another situation. No.
何度も言うけれど、僕は一階の高校生なんだ。あまりこういう店に呼び出さないでくれ。それにアルバイト帰りでね。疲れているから。
Still kills me that a part-time job in Japan is arbeito. Or like it's literally a job, arbeito. Where did you get that word from, Japan? Where did you get that word from, arbeito? Sounds so familiar.
アルバイト？例のなんとか喫茶か。あそこはやめた方がいいぜ。この辺りの夜の仕事の方が時給はいいみたい。
I'm literally underage.
そうじゃないさ、フェデリーコ君。あの場所にはわびさびがあっただろ。
Both of you, shut the fuck up.
今すぐやめたいくらいだよ。
Miharu finds herself at Milk Crown once more. Scale and Federico are perched on their usual seats. Naturally, Odette is nowhere to be seen.
オデットさんの姿がないね。
I do not feel comfortable being in alone with two men who are stronger than me in one room. Thank you very much. Miharu heard the details from Rinka but opts to play the fool. This is the first gathering since Odette had told them to leave the heavy lifting to her. Miharu finds herself curious about the two parties' exchanges between them then and today.
聡明な君ならもう気づいているだろう。そして俺の提供した情報をもとに君のお友達と協力してユウの脱落まで成し遂げた。
あいつはおそらくアランと協力してたはずだ。
どうしてそう思うのかな。
ただの勘だ。リンカってのは戦いになったら足手まといだろ。
The comment doesn't sit well with Miharu, but she lets Federico
直
continue.
後の報道じゃ銃弾で撃たれた男がいたみたいじゃねえか。その後行方不明。アラン以外に考えられねえ。
That's true. Alan was shot, yeah.
なるほど。そうなると問題はインカはいいとしてオデットとアランが未だ協力関係を結んでいるかが問題
The
だ
man
な。
onto something after 8 weeks of knowing.
どっちの可能性もあるな。アランの情報網はオデットも評価してた。
となると俺たちは2人の脱落が急務だな。
Scale Federico and Miharu versus Rinko, Odette and Alan. That is the situation those two are imagining, but Miharu knows this isn't the case. There are 3 teams, not 2. Scale and Federico, Miharu and Rinka, and Odette and Alan. 2 versus 2 versus 1. Miharu's goal is to obscure Rika's participation.
両方同時は現実的ではないね。僕がアランの死因を教えてもいいけれど、まだ彼の未練の手がかりはないのだ。
I am very interested in his cause of death. I think his regret has something to do with his family.
雑誌のインタビュー記事や過去の公な発言を洗ってみたが、結果は想像通りだ。彼の身辺を調査させているが、家族構成程度
Wait,
しかわ
but
かんない。
information on his family is something we have not yet had, so that's actually good.
母親は彼が幼い頃に病死。
Okay, never mind.
父親は彼が16歳の頃に殺害されている。
Maybe he has siblings?
殺害？それ
Because he, like, if his dad got murdered when he was 16, that's been a while. He's definitely older than 16.
アランの父親はもともと小さな宝石商を営んでいたらしい。インド国内の採掘場から原石を買い付けて加工会社へ卸していたそうだ。小金持ちになった弊害かはわからないけれども、どうやら欲が出たらしくてね。
Oh no.
貧しい人々への金貸しも始めたらしい。金融業者なんて立派なものじゃない。日本では闇金というのだったかな。
No!
かなりアコギな商売だったさ。
No! Get that name out of my chat. Why would you say that?
何を買ったってわけだ。そりゃやられた方が悪いわな。
Says a mafia guy. Are you kidding me? Federico's claim had extra weight because he had done the same work as Alan's father during his days in the mafia. Scale shrugs in agree. What do you mean during his days in the mafia? Are you not part of the mafia anymore? Did I... What?
なるほどね。
I thought he was still in the mafia. Miharu is able to establish a link between this information and the cause of death she's privy
そ
to.
の後、10代だったアラン・スコーピオンが父のルートを利用して会社を立ち上げ、財を成したのは有名な話だね。ちなみに現在の彼の家族構成は弟が4人と妹が1人だそうだ。
Aha, he has siblings.
彼ら家族はアランの収入が支えているらしい。
だとすれば、その家族ってのがアランの未練じゃねえのか。
俺もそれを想定したんだけどね。残念ながらまだこれ以上の背景情報が手に入っていないんだ。
会社やら経営、財産とかは想定してみたけど違ったからよ。
家族という線は俺も濃厚だと思っている。任せてくれとは言わないが、俺の仲間には高い報酬を約束してい
Why do
る。
you have so much money?
必ず情報を掴んでくれるさ。
Are you an intel dealer? Where do you get the money from?
君の仲間かい？
おっと、これ以上は俺の情報に関わるから教えられないね。しかしまあ、ジャーナリストのようなものと思ってくれ。
Miharu nods her head once again.
それではまだアランの死因は教えられないね。
はあ？なんでだよ。
向こうのグループのリンカと同じだ。非力で社会的な力を持っていない僕は用済みと判断されればおしまいだからね。
非常に合理的な判断だね。構わないよ。アランの情報は未練が判明したら教えてくれ。
そうなると、俺たち。
Oh no, you actually have to work once. Yeah.
分かっているさ。オデット、君の元仲間を狙うわけだろ。
人が嫌がる言い方を心得てるみてえだが、それこそあんたのは
It's just something off about Florida man, and it's the way his hair is drawn, because everyone else has like kind of longish hair. Like, obviously Miharu has long hair, but Federico has pretty long hair as well, and his is just so shaggy and short. Like, yeah, everyone else has kind of long hair. His was just gelled down. He's old. He was old. And his is just this weird, short and shaggy. You cannot see my... Wait, you cannot see my cursor. You don't trust shorter people? No! No, this has nothing to do with my trust. I just think, for some reason, the art style on him looks off. Even though it has to be the same artist behind it, but just, I don't know. The short hair is hard to draw, though. This man is white, unkept white Ohio man, Florida man, might even be Ontario man.
お手に入れている。本当か？いつ？
Is it the same as your own?
昨日の夜だ。一人になってふと自分の怪我を見て。
Was she shot? No, someone like your dad wouldn't die from being shot, right?
俺は死の間際、あいつと同じ場所にいた。
Didn't you drown? You both were on a ship.
詳細は俺の情報にもつながっちまうから教えられないが、その時。
But her getting shot would be too obvious. Maybe when they drowned, her stomach got spliced open by something.
だが見ての通り、戦闘が始まってからもあいつに傷はない。
Don't forget that Rinka thought she died in the fire.
その傷が
Yeah, and then later on she found out that she was actually choked to death. Federico takes a card from his book, allowing both to glance at it. The contents read as follow: numeral 11, blood loss. Wow, okay. I guess Miharu and Scale are unable to obtain a card themselves, however. Both understand that this is due to their lack of knowledge as to how that came to pass.
君はそんな大事なことを今日まで忘れていたのか。
うっせえ。あんな体力バカのゴリラ女とずっと一緒にいたんだ。思い出すもんも思い出せなかったんだよ。
死の瞬間、同じ場所にいたと言っていたね。その場合、
That makes them the second group of people in this game that died in the same place, though.
ああ、その可能性は俺も元から想定してたさ。だが、未練までは持ってないだろうよ。でなけりゃ、あいつを裏切った俺が前回の選定で指名されてない理由が説明できないからな。
なるほど。
それはそうだね。No more Italy?
それよりだ。ミハル、あんたはオデットの未練に心当たりがあるって言ったな。
俺も覚えている。このままでいけば、オデットを指名するのはフェデリーコ君になる。
Didn't one of the other guys also die with them? No. 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 When we first saw those two when they were talking in the restaurant, it was just they both, Federico told us, like in his, when he was the narrator, that they died and they were in the same place when they died, but it doesn't necessarily mean they had the same cause of death. They just were on the same ship for reasons we don't know. I'm still confused why Alan immediately was able to kill that one woman in the first week. Like, we know nothing about her. We saw her in the cafe, yes, but we don't know anything about her. She was just there and immediately died, and I do not trust it when a character gets introduced and then immediately gets off and like is never mentioned again. We don't know anything about her. She's just dead. Yes, I'm very suspicious of everything in this game.
僕は彼女の未練そのものを知っているわけではないよ。あくまで心当たりがあるだけだ。
She existed, yeah, and she had a sprite, and then she died.
それが構わないというのなら、そうだね。話すならば、このタイミングしかないだろう。
More ruthless than we thought and killed his own sister.
子供。僕はそれが彼女の未練につながるものだと思っている。
Her what? Miharu makes sure to explain her reasoning. Sophia served as a trigger for this line of thought. Odette granted her the opportunity to see the world for herself. She never had to do such a thing. She simply could have forced the information out of Sophia then and there. The risk of Sophia revealing her information did exist, but Odette could have handled that in a number of ways. Instead, she chose to do the most inefficient yet compassionate route. No, concept. Not conception, no, concept. Odette lived a lifestyle where she probably could not have children easily, but maybe she wished for children, seeing as she was so nice to a child such as Sophia. And if her cause of death was blood loss because she was stabbed in the stomach, that could very well be a regret, yes. Sophia trusted in a decision of hers too. Miharu is aware that Sophia was wise beyond her years. She wouldn't have believed Odette so readily. It would have been normal to assume Odette would break her promise immediately. There was a part of the puzzle that just didn't fit, one that led Miharu to a certain theory. Hello? Okay, no hello. Sophia understood that Odette was being compassionate, not by instinct, but because she knew Odette's regret. Kids time. I read that as CET, the time zone, for a second and was like, huh? What do you mean?
しかし子供か。当然これだけではカードも生まれない。
ここまではある程度の状況証拠に基づいた仮説さ。ここからが僕の推論だ。
Everyone is galaxy banning in this game for theories, and you just sit there laughing at us. You've already played it. You're like, haha, you fools.
オデットさんは自分で自分の生き方を選べる人。フェデリーコさん、僕の考えは間違っているかい？
あいつほど人の指図を受けないやつは珍しいと思うぜ。
Federico gives a clear answer and a deep nod. Sky rests his chin on his hand. He seems to follow Miharu's implication. When he catches Miharu's gaze, he offers his own thoughts.
彼女は見込んで子供もいないはず。しかし子供という言葉が関連して
Just theorize this one. No, no! We're theorizing that Odette never was able to have a child. Or maybe we're theorizing. No, she was not. Oh, that would have been awful. If she was pregnant and then died due to blood loss from whatever kind of wound to the stomach. But I think we are theorizing that Odette regrets not being able to have a child before she died. That's what we're theorizing. The exact idea why she did not have a child, we are not sure about yet.
例えば肉体的な理由。
However, no card manifests from his conjecture. Sky remains convinced they are on the right track
まだ
regardless.
何か足りないようだけれど、俺は君の話がオデットの未練からそう遠くないとも思う。わかった。オデット・マランソンの過去の病歴や手術歴を調べさせる。産婦人科系に
Jesus
絞って。
Christ! Who are you?
話が早くて助かるね。では、僕はもう失礼するよ。また君の情報が集まったら呼んでくれ。前にも言ったけれど、高校生の僕が遅くにこういう店に出入りす
She
るの
didn't
は
have even more
良くない
muscles.
からね。
Well, that is that one mother I once saw on Instagram who was like, had like a fucking six-pack even while she was pregnant. Since when do we have access to random doctor's patient files? If you have enough money, you can have access to anything, I guess.
まあ待てよ。場所を変えたっていい。もう少し付き合わないか？
Federico, stop hitting on a high schooler. I will literally kick you in your fucking...
下品で最低だよ。
Thank you. Miharu shoots Federico an icy glare before leaving. She has no idea that both of these men wind up drinking till morning. Drink your fucking brain to death.
ナオミが
Ouch. 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 I hate this. I still can't get over how happy I am. I saw her die right before my eyes, but here I am able to see her alive and well once again. It's nothing short of a miracle, but at the same time, Yu's remorseful cries after I elected him have struck with me. Those were his earnest feelings. I even experienced the scene of his death. Both of us died on the train, but the manner in which we passed differed.
でももう決めたから。
Those memories aren't enough to stop me now. I don't regret my decision. His life has served as the stepping stone I need to propel myself forward. Lionhouse will be back in business starting tomorrow. I've already gotten in contact with my gran about the logistics and I sorted out all the orders required. All I have to do now is go to bed, but I keep fuzzing with my phone. I want to talk to my gran for a bit, mainly because I've nowhere else to funnel all the feelings I've experienced the past several
たま
weeks.
には甘えたっていい。めったに泣かなかった私におばあちゃんは口癖のように言ってたっけ。
She's your grandma. And also she's cared for you ever since you were little, so she knows you well. And I'm trying... I should be able to get away with it just for today. What now? Ah, a phone conversation we will not see. Okay. We end up talking a lot longer than anticipated. Well, it was mostly her because she babbled on about when I was still a baby. It was a topic she'd only touched on briefly before, about the time I was born. Apparently my parents passed away in a fire immediately after my birth. Nika, I do not like how you're connected to fire so much. She doesn't remember much about what happened herself, by nature of both the shock and how busy she was at the time. No one remembers the actual time my mom gave birth to me. My dad probably would, but he's no longer here either. According to her, I was found crying in the smoldering ruins of the fire, almost like I magically appeared out of the Uh-huh. Uh-huh. No need to get so heated about it. No. Magically being saved from a fire when you're a baby reminds me of a backstory of one of the witch girls, which hit me very hard. I don't know how many of you here have read the Witch comics, the Italian series. You know, the one where people were always up in arms like, oh, now Winx is better, now Witch is better. But Witch never got as big as an animation series as Winx, so fewer people know of it. Remind me of the backstory for the protagonist of Fate Stay Night. No, because in Witch, one of the girls was also saved. Like, the house burned to the ground. And she's the one connected to fire. Her power is fire, and funny magical saving thing. The entire house burned down. And there was this ring. Because actually the fire was the good thing, because some kind of evil being was attacking the house and was trying to kill her. Then like a really big ball of fire flew down from the sky and burned down the entire house. So everyone thought it was a bad thing, but actually it killed the bad magical thing that was trying to kill the girl when she was still a baby. And she was saved in that ring of fire. Oh, I miss Witch. I should read it at some point again. Look at her shirt. She even dresses in fire. She dresses fire. Fire. Okay. Gran also doesn't remember when she came to learn my name. However, she does remember that my mom was the one to name me Rinka, as well as the meaning behind my name. It all comes as quite a shock to me. The details of what happened were vague, but I was able to accept it considering those who witnessed it were gone. No, there's fire in the clock. I know. I'm well aware of what it's like to spend your days in a daze after a traumatic event. My memory lapse surrounding the events that led to becoming a participant in divine selection is proof of that. For my grand, this took place 16 years ago. It wouldn't be odd for something to trigger her memory, but as far as I'm concerned, there's no need for that to happen. I might have thought differently last month, but I'm not the same person as before. I was not supposed to be a phoenix. No, I think it's just fire. There's a noticeable pause. She's usually the type to give a quick and concise answer, so it's rare for this to happen. I hear her mulling it over for a moment before finally speaking up again. We then finish the conversation off with some small talk before hanging up. Maybe the grandma was also dreaming of it. A person's life is a miracle in and of itself. I just want you to know that. That did nothing to answer the question. She doesn't normally talk like that either. That was the first time I'd heard her say such a thing. There's something about it though. It set my heart ablaze. Aww. That's a nice saying. Huh, this is weird. I'm well aware of what's going on in my dreams despite it not being Sunday. I've experienced this a number of times before. Oh no, I'm lucid dreaming! I'm not in a court of fate either. It's almost like another side of the dream world entirely. It's not long before I hear a man's voice ring out.
お久しぶり。でもないね。もうそんなごたくはいらないから。
I still think you're the cat.
自分の運命と決着をつけた君に待ち受けているのは、きっとより困難な道だろう。無限の可能性の中に
This is like being at
君
work
が
on
道
your
を作
day
ってい
off.
くんだ。君の命が
He
奇
is
跡
very
を作ってい
pretty,
くん
that
だ。
is true, yes.
それは決して奇跡なんかではないね。君たち人間の意志の力というものだろうか。私はようやく興味を持ち始めたさ。
Just a game to you, isn't it?
おっと、無駄話はいいね。私が君の夢に顔を出すことが一体何を意味するのか。
No?
君はもう分かっているのだろう。君の忘却がまた一つ紐解かれるということさ。
I feel my consciousness fade once again. His gliding voice gradually fades into the distance as I fall deep into the sea of my subconscious. Flames envelop me. Flames powerful enough to flake the skin from my bones. My skin is charred, my lungs destroyed by the smoke. My life turns to ash. My inability to move even my fingers tells me as much. I hear someone shouting. They're shouting the same thing over and over. The voice is eventually swallowed up by the roaring flames. My consciousness has dissipated by the time the voice fades completely. Oh, what a great memory. What a great fucking memory! Wait, though. Hold up. Listen, if my theories don't make sense and in the end it all turns out to be way easier than what I am spinning up right now, but we just found out that apparently our parents shortly after our birth died in a fire. What if these memories are actually from back when she was born and it's that fire, not the fire she died in just now? Or maybe I'm thinking maybe I'm thinking too much. Who knows? Another morning where I wake up screaming. This time it's due to a frightful dream. You again. I notice Lethe lying right on top of me as I think things over. It feels like this has happened before. I figure that the contents of my dream are my memories of a specific event. Memories of when I lost my life in an explosion on a train. Memories of an event that had been undone. One that represented just a single possibility. Up until now, anyway. Fate should stop interfering with fate. I think you should pet the cat more. I wish! I want to pet the cat. I'm not 100% sure why. Perhaps the world underwent some changes after my recent actions. There's no clear answer for now, at least. Which may mean the memories of much earlier time. It's possible they came back to me after what my grand told me over the phone. Something doesn't quite fit, though. I understood what was happening in my dream. There's no way a newborn would be able to form such vivid memories. Go on, ask the cat. The cat will talk to you, and his voice will go, "Oh yes, Rinka, you're very interesting." The only response I get is Letha's meow. It throws my concentration off a bit, so I end up petting Letha for a bit before going about my morning routine. Pet the cat, pet the cat, pet the cat. Yo! And it's only Tuesday. Mao and I go to the rooftop during lunchtime. My dream woke me up pretty early, so I had enough time to make my own lunch. Meanwhile, Mao's eating a fruit sandwich, anpan, and strawberry milk to wash it all down. Give me that strawberry milk. Give it! I feel my heart clog just looking at the lineup. So she says before she starts to munch away. Miharu didn't come to school today. I was a bit worried at first, considering this happened right after we had our little fight, but she did message me telling me not to worry. Granted, telling me that without explaining the situation is going to make me do the opposite. I know it's best if I stay put though. The last thing I want is to mess things up for her while she's dealing with Scale and Federico. I make plans to the library with Naomi after school. I wasn't sold on the idea when I first asked her, but I figure our school's old enough to have some potentially worthwhile information hidden somewhere. Of course, I've still got to work at Lionhouse as well, so the plan is to grab a number of books related to design and such and borrow them. I'm sorry. Someone mentioned a change of clothes, please! I get started on my own lunch after Mao snaps me back to reality. I'm not accustomed to making my own lunch, but it's pretty good, all things considered. Spending time like this, eating and chatting with Mao, helps me realize that I haven't lost my regular life yet. Okay, hold on. Who here regularly had their own lunch and who bought stuff at the, I don't know, cafeteria or whatever they sold at school? Because I rarely ever bought stuff at school because it was so expensive. Like, there were those people who would buy there every day, and I just always thought to myself, do you have a lot? How much money do you have? You always had to skip lunch and you didn't have lunch. What? Great. I just straight up had bread with something punched on it in the morning, like in less than 2 minutes. like butter or something. Only some snacks sometime. No lunch on this channel. Wow, we're all very healthy. No, lunch for me, or like during the breaks at school, were the only thing I would eat before dinner in the evening. Because I never ate breakfast. So like, Mao cuts off the small talk all of a sudden. Her tone grows far more reserved than usual. We were in the middle of half-heartedly discussing a shoujo manga, but I make sure to give her my full attention now. Classic. Classic. They're like, haha. Yeah, sure. Come to our city, not our city. Come here, you get great opportunities. Why you don't speak great English? Well, fuck you. You get nothing then. That's awful. I'm sorry to hear that. One day we will get our aquarium date, and if I have to replay fucking P5R to get that one scene with Akechi and count it as an aquarium date, then so be it. I will put the aquarium date on our list of things, games that I play on stream for some reason seem to have often. Mao hesitates before she continues. No, you feel left out and you are smart enough to realize that something's going on. You could play Unipop 2 and get banned for it. No! I will not! I will not do that. Cafeteria food was commonly agreed to be bad too. School lunch stuff is a nightmare. Oh, ugh. From fifth and sixth grade. In fifth and sixth grade, I had lunch at school because I had school in the afternoon, like once or twice a week. It was okay-ish, but like my mom would always hide from me how expensive it was, and one day I found out how expensive it was, and I told her to stop buying it. Like it's not worth it, because you had to always like they would have this plan for one entire week, and then you had to buy it before, and then your kid would could go there and be like, okay, what's your name, and then they check whichever you chose and stuff. But I found out how expensive it was, so I told her to not do it anymore, and then I would just eat nothing. Or like just bread. Just bread is fine, because we would always eat like a big dinner. Like most of the time, the only time we actually all eat something together is dinner. We're all hungry children here. Yes. On the other hand, it's like, do you even know anyone, like, do you know streamers who actually have like a healthy lifestyle? For some reason, I feel like no one does. Oh yeah. Okay, posture check. Hold on. Posture check. We paid like 11 for a cafeteria for school next door. I'm not sure if it was worth it. I can live off 50 a week now. Ooh. Attain health. Okay. You also attain health with me. Is everyone checking their posture with me? Yeah? There we go. Posture is checked. Drink is drunk. Button is pressed. Both of us not in agreement. Following that, we return to our small talk. The discussion continues even after the bell rings, and we make our way back to class. Excuse me, I can't attend help if I sound like I just want a skeleton war. Attain health. Yeah, I would like to attain health, but I don't want to go see doctors right now because of Corona. It's like, listen, if I can stay as far away from a doctor as possible and other people, then I will do so. But no, you have to take care of your body. No. Hide. I am hiding. I am hiding. Having taken a day from school, Miharu finds herself in one of Shinjuku's expansive parks. It is a park near Lion House, a park dear to Rinka. Rinka isn't the one with her though. Hi. Hi.
いつからここがその場所だと気づいていたんだい？
気づくわけはねえだろ。調べたんだよ。あの時計台はこの国じゃ珍しいからな。そう。
さすがの君も勘だけで見知らぬ土地を当てられるわけはないね。くせ。おかしな質問をしてしまったよ。
Oh, that's a really nice CG. Thank you. Ma'am, your abs. Both Miharu and Odette set their eyes on the clock tower in the distance as they talk. Neither bothers to sit down. The situation will come as no surprise to those who know Odette well enough. Miharu was making her way to school as always when Odette showed up all of a sudden. All that followed was a simple request for Miharu to come with her before dragging her along by force. While that made it obvious how she must have treated Federico, Miharu still finds herself on edge. Her own wariness would prove meaningless though. Odette just wanted to visit an art gallery. Miharu figured that denying her proposition would require too much effort, so she opted to join her. They didn't go for the standard displays, however. The sights were set on the seasonal art exhibition. It focused on easily one of the most famed artists of all time, Van Gogh. Miharu isn't too familiar with the arts. She subscribes to the belief that expanding one's knowledge should take precedence over enjoying artists' creations. You can do both. Miharu, excuse me. Should have saved the hydrate. Why? Oh, because of that. Hey, I'm just appreciating, yeah? I'm appreciating here. I'm not thirsty. The school of thought clearly doesn't apply to her dad. There was a look of nostalgia in her eyes when she was taking in his works. It was a complete contrast to her hardy self. Well, born in Holland, Van Gogh spent most of his days in France. Many of his paintings used France as the motive too. Miharu wasn't convinced that the look in her dad's eyes was fueled solely by memories of her, homeland though. Odette eventually stopped in front of a painting of a farm village titled The Harvest. She spent over 30 minutes staring at it. It was almost as if she had lost herself in the painting. Miharu made no attempt to speak to her during that time. She had every opportunity to leave, but she never took it. She never was able to figure out what Odette was thinking. However, that moment made Odette feel truly human to her. It was the same sensation as when she learned of the compassion she showed to Sonia.
意外だったろ。私があんな風に絵を見るなんてよ。
そうだね。君の知識が幅広いことは知っていたけれど、芸術はもっと斜に構えて見るのかと思っていた。でも、君はまるで子供のような目をしていたね。
I mean, makes sense, obviously. But like...
当たり前だ。優れた芸術の前じゃ。
The last time I went was sometime during school. And you just, I don't know, when you go with your whole class, you just can appreciate it. Like, we were an arts class, but for some reason half the people didn't care for the art in there. And it's like, I would love to spend an entire day in an art gallery just taking in everything at the speed I want and looking at the stuff the way I want. And sitting down to sketch something. Like that sounds like a fantastic way to spend the day for me. To the Louvre. Aww. I've never been there. I would love to go to the really big ones. Going with the class feels too much like you're going through checklists. Exactly. It's like, okay, first we look at this, then we look at this, and also we only have 5 hours because then we have to take the bus back, and everyone, does everyone have all the things? Okay, we looked at everything. Did everyone pay their stuff? Okay, now we would bye. Like, listen, if I wanted to spend a day in an art gallery, I would go there immediately when they open, and I would spend the entire day in there. Like, fucking, I don't know, 13 hours, who cares? They won't be open that long, probably. But still, I would spend a lot of time in there. Paris is fun as long as you have a metro pass. I would trust a traffic there. Listen, I don't trust French people. No, because I wouldn't get anywhere. I only speak English and German. They don't like speaking English, so I would just be stuck not understanding anyone. Odette casts her eyes to the sky as she speaks. A gentle breeze floats past us, bringing with it a murder of crows. Odette's choice of words leads Miharu to a certain idea.
君は自分の未練が僕たちに知られそうになっていることに気づいているね。まさかその件で僕を。
The Netherlands is too far up there. Oh, wait. I can't turn to learn it easily anywhere. Ah, yeah, true. Wasn't France asking for direction and I really forgot. Yeah. A friend of mine once was able to speak French pretty fluently because she took it in school. And she went there for a concert and she tried asking the subway, like not a random guy in the subway, but actually a worker there in English how to get to a specific point, and he would not tell her. He was like, because she spoke English, then she like tried with the little French she still had in her brain, and he was immediately friendly. And I'm just, like, I only hear stories like that. It's so upsetting to me. Like, listen, I'm just asking for directions. Why you gotta be so rude about it? Spanish is in a shared word, so I could probably learn enough French to get by, but I'd be stuck otherwise.
ああ、そうさ。私の未練が割れそうになっていることはもう分かってる。フェデリーコのやつもそろそろ死因に思い当たってるだろう。
Okay, stream elements, thank you.
そこで一番話しやすそうな僕ということかい？交渉。
Why is no one mentioning that she's now wearing gloves? Miharu fires a glare at that. She's on high alert now. At the same time, her alarm serves to trigger her nerves.
いや、てめえをどうこうするつもりはねえよ。私にとっちゃ、女神の選定なんてのは所詮ゲームだ。勝ったら生きる、負けたら死ぬ。
That's a nice way to look at it.
もう罪だってんなら、せめてそれまで楽しめればそれでいいさ。
君が脱落させた人はそんなつもりではなかったと思う。ソフィアも。いや、そんなことを言う資格は僕にはないね。
Miharu trades off, shaking her head. Odette and Federico may have been the ones who led Sofia to her elimination, but it was Miharu who ultimately carried it out. Her reasoning, however important it may be to her, will never change that fact.
君は行きたくないのかい？
そんなわけねえだろ。楽しいことは多い方がいいに決まってる。だがよ、私の未練は決して叶うもんじゃねえ。だったら死んだって別に構わない。私にとっちゃもう人生ですらゲームみたいなもんだ。どんなにレベルを上げても現実じゃ何も変えられねえからな。
ならやはり僕の抱えていた違和感は正しかったということだね。つまり
もったいぶるつもりもねえ。メイドの土産なんてわけでもねえが話してやるよ。私の生まれはゴッホの収穫のような風景が続く時代遅れの田舎だったんです。
Oh, that backstory time! Oh! Oh! Oh, that's really pretty. Odette shares the story of her past with Miharu. Miharu takes it all in. There's no hint of sentimentalism as Odette reveals both her past and regret. In fact, it sounds the same as if she were telling an inconsequential story. Miharu finds herself unable to say anything for a while, even after Odette finishes. There's no easy way to sum up what she's just heard. As a fellow woman, harsh doesn't begin to describe it. Oh, so you're not telling me? You show me a pretty CG and think that's good enough? Hello? The first thing to emerge is criticism toward herself. Odette lets out a hearty laugh when she hears that.
同情してくれてんのかい?
Don't worry about it, no!
ただ君にかける言葉を持たないだけさ。
Odette's complete lack of emotion toward her own past strikes fear in the heart of Miharu. She shows no sign of either sadness or anger. Odette is a broken soul. That's how Miharu feels. The reality that her regret would elude her for her entire life likely took its toll on Odette over a long, long period of time.
なぜ僕に君の話を？
てめえは強さの意味を履き違えちゃいないからだ。
意味がわからないよ。
Miharu gives up trying to follow Odette. The concept of enjoying oneself holds more meaning than is imaginable. Miharu understands that much. She gets the hidden meaning behind doing what one can to enjoy the present. That's why she can't figure Odette out.
スケールは次の選定でてめえを指名する。
は？
奴はてめえとリンカが仲違いしてないことなんざ。おそらく気づいているだろう。
I mean, I think everyone knows we're still buddy-buddy, except for Federico for some reason.
8度目の選定じゃ、フェデリーコが私を指名、スケールがてめえを指名で2人の脱落。ま、用済みってわけだな。
なんだって。
Miharu fails to hide her surprise at Odette's sudden claim. Not over the idea that Scale is done with her, though.
彼が僕の未練のカードを持っているのは知っている。けれども、いつの間に僕の死因まで。
抜け目ないことがあだになったってことだ。 てめえが手首を隠し続けていること。それ自体が答えだろ。
Yeah, okay. That cause of death I was pretty much imagining. Miharu rubs her wrist on reflex. Whenever Miharu wore long sleeves, they seemed to be intentionally longer than usual, and when with short sleeves she wore gloves. And that she does so to keep her wrist concealed, even when stretching out her arms. In cases where one might be able to get a peek, she would use her bag, card, book, and even her other hand to keep them concealed. Ouch! Jesus Christ, thank you for being very blunt, Odette. Also, hello, good evening. This is why you finally mentioned the gloves. No one mentioned that she suddenly changed from always wearing long sleeves to short sleeves. But this is why we get the gloves now. Okay.
なんとか喫茶だっけか。てめえがアルバイトしている場所の制服では手袋の着用が認められている。
Is it?
これは飲食店としちゃ稀だ。
は？ Is it?
あいつはそれを確かめるためにもてめえのアルバイト先まで顔を出したんじゃねえのか。
I never thought of that.
全部お見通しってわけか。怖いな。
私の些細な判断から未練までたどり着いたやつが何を言ってやがる。
しかしやはり不可解だ。どうしてスケールに狙われていることを教えてくれたんだい。君の脱落の原因となる僕も脱落した方が君は楽しいのではないか
な。何言ってる。私はな、てめえに自分の弱さを見抜かれて気持ちいいくらいに感じている。スケールは人の弱みに敏感だ。だからこそ情報収集にできているわけだ。
You're kind of similar but fundamentally different.
てめえは
Thank
似て
you.
いるようで違う。私は好きだぜ。てめえのこと。恋愛的な意味でな。
Excuse me.
てめえは人の弱さに敏感だった。そこに惚れちまったってわけよ。
Ma'am!
もっとも4度目の選定で出し抜かれた時から気になってはいたんだ。
Ma'am! Ma'am, I am a child. Hello? Hello? That is not what I meant when I said representation.
そんな相手に生き残ってもらいたいってのはてめえもよくわかる
Like, I appreciate your sentiment, but I am a child.
いきなり何を言い出すんだい。冗談はやめてくれないか。
Those are some dangerous adults. Miharu loses her composure due to Odette's sudden confession. She pouts her head, avoiding eyes from Odette, who continues after that.
冗談じゃねえさ。てめえも私も弱いんだ。弱い奴らは惹かれ合うんだよ。それに私はどっちもいける口だぜ。顔も体も好みな部類だ。その点じゃフェデリーコとは気が合うかもしれねえな。
What's this now? Are you telling me that both Odette and Federico are bi? Is that what you're trying to say? I don't like you. What the fuck? Yay! It's a win for the gays.
ダメだよ。仮に君が本気で言っていたとしても受け入れられないさ。僕が愛するのはリンカだけだからね。
その片思いってのも弱い証拠だよな。言っておくがよ。多分あの女にその気はないぜ。
Help!
やめてくれ。そういうんじゃないんだ。
わかってるよ。
Odette follows her sarcasm up with a serious expression. The sudden switch frightens Miharu a bit, but she takes every effort to show her own fortitude in the face of it.
好きになったやつがいるなら、そいつを悲しませるな。言っている意味、わかるな。
痛いほど。
Miharu nods while answering. She made a decision to offer her life for Rinka's sake, yet she knows that decision will not result in Rinka's happiness.
しかし、このままフェデリーコに指名されるのも面白くね。振られちまった借りを返してもらうためにも、一つ協力してもらうぜ。
Well, I guess this game is giving us at least 2 Bs and maybe also an L for the LGBT. Why is there a blue light outside? You know, blue light from a... What's it called? Huh, wait, what are they called? When you call... And you call 911, but not for a fire, but, you know. For help. Oh, that explains her plan without waiting for a response. While the idea takes Miharu by surprise, she nods in agreement. Okay, so what's this going to be? Who elects who? It's going to be a wild round this time. For health! Yeah, you know what I mean! I forgot the word. An ambulance! Yeah! When you call 911 for help. 911, what's your emergency?
てめえは最後まで地獄に来るんじゃねえぞ。
うん。当然さ。地獄でも天国でもない。凛花の隣に行くだけさ。
焼けるね。
Press 1 for fire, 2 for crime, and 3 for health. Leaving Miharu with those final words, Odette walks off. Miharu collapses onto a nearby bench in an effort to calm herself down. Once she settles down, she remains there until sunset. Odette's comments about weakness leaves her deep in thought. Oh my fucking god, this is wild. And we have like the entirety of the week still to do. Oh my god. Yeah. I'm getting hiccups again. The day after, when school is ended, Miharu calls Naomi to the rooftop. They face one another under a cloudy sky from which it seems rain will pour any minute. Not only is it rare for Miharu to call on Naomi, but Naomi also has nothing but bad memories of speaking to Miharu alone. Something happened between those two. Like, there's no way Naomi would be this scared of her. Naomi poses a question to Miharu, who remains silent.
まだ遊園地に行く前、君とライオン館の前で話した時のことは覚えているよ。
Do we know that? No, I don't think we ever saw that.
羊さん、君が僕を避けていることは仕方がないと思っている。
避けているだなんて。ごめんなさい。
Naomi's a very strong character.
私、三島先輩のことを確かに避けていました。
And I love her for that. The event Miharu refers to took place on May 5th, the day following the juncture of casualty. The day all 12 participants' deaths were undone, Miharu had made her way to Lion House in order to see Rinka. Doing so would allow her to reaffirm that she is truly alive, while also giving her the opportunity to remind Rinka about going to the theme park. Miharu had prepared herself to delve into the details of divine selection once they had gone. Not long after leaving Lion House, she came across Naomi. The dynamic seems healthy to me. Naomi spoke to Miharu without thinking twice. Miharu, on the other hand, remained silent after turning to face her.
君は凛花のことが好きなのかい？
凛花先輩のことは尊敬してますし、先輩として
No, I mean in the romantic sense.
ですけど、
その程度なら僕から凛花を奪うのはやめてほしい。
は？
奪う？
僕は凛花が好きだ。友人としてではなく。
Okay, that is very fair, Miharu, but at this point, you and Rinka are not going out, and Rinka is definitely allowed to have more than just you to hang with. That is not healthy. Miharu promptly took her leave following that exchange. Naomi would end up making her way into Lionhouse afterwards, full of nothing but frustration. No, Naomi, I think you should still definitely be upset. If someone came to me like, stop trying to steal someone I'm romantically interested in away from me when they're not going out and we're both friends with that person, I would also be upset. Hello?
君に理解されるほど僕の思いは浅くない。
Miharu puts a wall between herself and Naomi, so let attempts to get closer. She quickly realizes it too, covering her mouth with her hands as a sign of remorse.
僕は君が嫌いだ。君の人格はこの際どうでもいい。
You are not the only person on this godforsaken earth, Miharu.
リンカが僕と過ごす時間を奪っていったから。
Linka is not an object. Oh my fucking god. Miharu's words are as blunt as they come. Naomi can only direct her gaze toward the floor. Not simply by virtue of Miharu being her senior, this is the first time anyone has outright stated their disdain for her.
高校生活が始まってからの1年間は、リンカと僕とマオとの3人で過ごすものだった。マオは僕がリンカを好きなことを分かっていたから、一歩引いてくれることが多かったんだ。
Okay, Miharu, not the entire world revolves around you just because you're in love with someone. At least Miharu isn't going full yandere. Bad ending. Miharu just steps at every other participant, so we're the only ones left alive.
けれど、君は突然に僕の前に現れた。後輩という立場を利用して。
Miharu, you're literally destroying every single ounce of respect I had for you just now. Like, every single point.
君は僕の恋心を知っていた。けれども、僕に気を使うことはなく、天津さえ女神の選定を利用して、さらに距離を縮めた。
It's not the job of everyone else to make sure your feelings aren't hurt if you cannot get over yourself to try and confess your feelings then. What the fuck?
違います。私だって三島先輩の気持ちを分かっていたから。でも、凛花先輩はいつもみんなでって言ってくれて。
君は僕を差し置いて、リンカにとって大切なものになっていたんだ。
Miharu, jealousy isn't a good look on you. Naomi finds herself asking why she has to put up with this. Even so, she isn't the type to grow angry and argue back. All she can do is attempt to make Miharu realize she's misunderstanding things.
三島先輩はそれを言うために私は屋上へ呼んだんですか?
The clouds looming overhead cast the shadows down, thicker and darker than before. The humidity in the air is almost crunching. Crushing? Crunching.
そのままでいればいい。
でも私がいることで三島先輩に嫌な思いをさせてしまっているなら、
僕は君以上に自分のことが
Oh wow, at least she realizes it.
この嫉妬深い性格も嫌味な性格もね。醜い心が自分の親と似ていると自覚する。
Okay, that is completely normal, and you would tell that to your underclassmen you do not like, and you've spent the past 10 minutes telling that you don't like. Miharu speaks coldly, takes off the glove on her left hand and shows her wrist to Naomi. A number of scars are visible, none seem recent, but the implication is clear.
僕の死因はこういうことさ。本来なら自ら選んだ道。生きようとする資格は僕にはないはずなんだ。
I feel like I should put trigger warnings on this game. She then immediately puts her glove back on. All that follows is a self-pitying smile toward Naomi.
こんな僕でも死んだら凛花を悲しませてしまう。それは僕にとって許されることではないんだ。
私はやっぱり三島先輩のことが苦手です。
At least in a word like caution. Implication of attempted suicide.
もし死んでしまったら悲しいです。想像するのも恐ろしいくらい。ナオ先輩だって悲しむに決まっているじゃないですか。誰に狙われているんですか？
Naomi's question takes Miharu by surprise. However, it helps to put everything into perspective. It is doubtless that Naomi has spent every passing moment thinking about divine selection, all for Rinka's sake. This is precisely why Naomi could zone in on what Miharu wanted to get across with this conversation.
Rinka先輩に直接言ったら、きっと何をしてでも三島先輩のことを守ろうとするから。私、
スケール・ジョーンズ、9番の男性さ。僕は彼の使命と信用を持っている。
Tell me his name of death. Miharu gives Naomi a brief rundown of what the dead told her. Naomi listens fervently, showing no concern over the fact that Miharu has just made her dislike for her clear. It is obvious what she wants. Miharu will search on her own as much as possible, but she also wants Naomi's assistance. Right? Thank you. I said this the last time. If you two actually talked to each other and figured things out and shared your cards with each other, boom, you could get rid of him immediately. Why do you need Naomi for this? To realize this, that you could actually talk to Rinka for once. Oh, right. Because then Rinka would go, oh no, I have to get in danger for your sake. Bah! Yes, I'm upset right now. I'm upset at Miharu though.
本当かい？
はい。カードに書かれていたのは金メダル。でも。
Oh, yeah, okay, never mind. They actually need to figure out why that is his regret. Otherwise it won't work. You can't just tell someone what the card says.
そうだね。けれど、それだけわかれば、きっと大丈夫さ。
Are you sure? The clouds begin to part and a blue sky brightens the land once more. Miharu's face is lit up by rays of sunlight.
ありがとう、羊さん。君は本当に。
Yeah. Naomi is very strong for not slapping you across the face because I'm not quite sure I wouldn't have done it. That said, Miharu makes her way inside. Naomi's surprise over the turn of events leaves her unable to follow suit for a moment. Like, imagine this girl you're trying to actively avoid because she doesn't like you calls you out to the rooftop. It's just you two, and she just goes off on how she doesn't like you. You took the girl I'm in love with away from me, and you're just standing there like, wah. Oh, wah. And you don't get angry? I would have gotten angry. I am getting angry right now. Scale still hasn't called us over for today's meeting. I couldn't settle down though, so here I'm drinking away at Milk Crown. Man, this is a Wendy's, also have you thought about yourself? Some Japanese whiskey is my choice of drink for today. The name's one simple kanji. I can read it thanks to having my card book on me, but I forgot the name itself thanks to not being too familiar with it. Which reminds me, I haven't touched wine for quite a while. I was always with her dad whenever I had it, so it'd probably bring back memories of her now. And I gotta be honest, I didn't mind drinking and arguing over stuff with her. Still, I'm the one who betrayed her. Yeah, big letter no plot, so you can further plot because you don't want to. Huh? I don't got time for that. I want to live. Whether there was the right choice to make that happen. I already have a cause of death, it's just a matter of time before I get her regret too. If this anything's going smoothly, then I don't know what is. All I gotta do is take care of that asshole Alan afterwards. No one can touch me now that I've partnered up with Scale.
ならよ、スケールはどうやって倒す？ちゃんと先のことまで考えてんのか、てめえ。
But her dad is nowhere to be seen. I tell it myself again. I might be drunk, but that's no excuse to let myself hear things. That's something she'd say though, no doubt. And that was there when I partnered up with Scale. I figured I'd be able to handle him myself afterwards. Yet here we are and all I have is his name. Federico is gonna survive until very far into the game. Out of sheer luck, I guess. Chances are Dad knows about the former by now. Would only make sense considering I know hers. I'm the one who's gonna elect her though, so there's no risk of him obtaining any of my cards. Thinking that I order another whiskey on the rocks. Odette plants herself on a seat beside me before ordering a bottle of some French red wine. I can't help but stare at the deep red liquid cascades into the glass. Its lustrous color almost puts me in a daze. I gotta say, while Italy might have the best food and wine, France is a close second. The fact never changed, not even after backstabbing Odette. Because nobody thinks he's as fat and can be of use. Yeah, he's just there. He's just there partying up and backstabbing people, but for some reason he survives all the time. Are you sure? So I say, yet we end up talking about all sorts of stuff while enjoying our wine. We'd been working together for over a month. I've gotten accustomed to chatting away with her. Kinda hard to drop that habit cold turkey. But that brings an odd topic out of nowhere right around the time we finish our first bottle. Sure sounds like something a kid in school would say. I ain't no kid though, that won't be enough to throw me off. Oh? I cut myself off before glaring at her. The flickering lights in here are starting to piss me off. You walked right into that one, Federico, all on your own. Odette wastes no time in leaving the bar. I feel my entire body shaking, wine glass still in hand. She knows your regret? The shock of what just happened sobers me right up. Now I see why she came in the first place. Oh god. Listen, this Sunday is going to be wild. I slammed the money down on the table before throwing the bar door open and running out. Ooh, he's sweaty. I can't hold my frustration in after I get back to my hotel. I kick the sofa over and chuck pillows at the bed. I'm just letting all my anger spill out. It'll be a good time or a bad time. I'm glad she's not attacking Mario, honestly. Yeah. I catch myself mid-panic. Am I gonna go down without ever besting her? Assuming we end up electing each other, chances are we cause a standstill. The cards that we both hold will disappear as a result, meaning we won't be able to carry out any elections in the future. Now I know what I need to do. It's vital to me. If I can't surpass Odette, then I can crush Scale as well. That's the conclusion I reach as I clean up the room that I just trashed. That's the one thing that always held me back from like throwing pillows or anything. I have to pick them back up. Like I won't make a mess of my room in anger because I'd have to clean it back up, and that's work and annoying, so I never did it. When I saw when I read, what the fuck? When I saw when I read what the fuck, I spent the rest of yesterday reading through what I grabbed from the library after closing up shop for the day. This time around we focused on material information about old book designs, but nothing of note stood out. There wasn't anything too reminiscent of the design on our card books. I never expected to find something right off the bat. With that in mind, I head over to the bathroom to wash my face. Oh god, what's... Wait. So Miharu, if Miharu gets the regret with the gold medal, gets the card, she can elect Scale. She is the second one. Scale has all of her cards, so she could elect her back. Then one of them has to reveal a personal card to get the right. No, wait, that was when you both chose someone else to elect, to eliminate. But what if you choose each other? We'll see. I don't want to think about that. Scale finally rounds us up to 2 days after that came by to chat. Miharu's with us too, but she's as cold as ever.
以上が俺の調査結果であり、オデットの未練を裏付けるための情報だ。
Scale closes the explanation with a heavy tone. He told us about Odette's past. Born on a family farm, her mother passed away not too long after her birth. No one was for sure whether or not the despair of losing his wife drove her father insane. Regardless, it's a fact that Odette suffered abuse by his hand. The abuse she received not long after hitting puberty resulted in a particularly drastic consequence. Her body became unable to sustain a child. That reality must have crushed Odette. She left her father at the brink of death through the use of tools on the farm before moving abroad. She made it a point to live by a port in order to erase her memories of farm life. There she met a man in charge of a shipping company, which led to her spending most of her days at sea. The man took quite an interest in her, similar to how she considered him akin to a parent. Her deep personality and knack for the job quickly led to her being regarded as a fine member of his crew. None on the ship were aware that Odette's recklessness was spurred on by a lack of attachment to her own life, though. Odette's regret only grew as she aged, so she made an effort to work hard and enjoy the present as much as possible. Granted, all of that is just prerequisite information in regards to learning her actual regret.
この父親というのがまだ生きていた。
は？
話を聞くことができた。
Abusive parents get to die.
もっとも娘の犯行がよっぽどトラウマになっているのか、彼は今精神病院で暮らしているようです。
Miharu kept her head down the entire time Scale was talking. It must hit close to home considering they're both women.
出産よし、カードが出た。間違いない。
あれだけ大口を叩いていた彼女にしては
Excuse me?
くだらない未練だな。
Say that again. Say that again, Florida man. Say it to my face. I want him dead. I don't care about his backstory, I want him dead. Scale might have something to himself, but I can't quite catch it. More importantly, I finally got hold of all her cards. Just looking at this new one has me giddy. I've done it, at last. Do you want to lose a lovely belt buckle, Florida man? I try my best not to grin like an idiot. I don't give a damn about her past. That's not enough to change my view of her. I don't have a future to speak of if I can't surpass her. I can finally stand toe-to-toe with her. All that's left is to elect her. She might elect me back, but I can't let that possibility stop me.
しかしスケールさん、君の友人というのはすごいね。たった数日でここまで情報を集めるなんて。
それはどうも。俺の素性にも繋がってきてしまうから詳細を教えられないのが残念だ。
What, your identity is a soon dead man? When I'm done with you? Miharu responds with a quiet nod. She looks pretty exhausted now that I take a proper look. Talk about putting a pretty face to waste. That says she's right. I don't know who this friend of Scales is, but I gather into like a beast. That leads me to a thought. If this guy's got so many connections, then that means plenty of people know him. These two keep acting all calm and collected, but that ain't gonna last long. Once I surpass Odette, they're next. Yo, Federico, I think you're the only one here who thinks they're going to win. Saturday rolls around without anything resembling progress for us. You know, these guys are all planning on like killing each other, and Rika's like, book design. You're talking about eliminating another participant, so you keep thinking about her face. He's... I do what I can to reach the truth about divine selection, but there's far too much information out there regarding design concepts and such. Doesn't help that I'm not too familiar with history in the first place. Part of me is ready to give up. I tried taking a picture of my card book and doing a reverse image search, but nothing worthwhile popped up. I'm honestly starting to feel like I'm at my limit, but I can't just throw in the towel. If I can't think of any other methods, then I should stick to this way for now. At least you're self-aware. Keeping the store open has inevitably led to me losing sleep. My thoughts become words before I even realize it. The regulars at Lionhouse have all manner of jobs. Plenty of elderly people too, so one of them might know something. I know I don't have the luxury to stop now, which helps keep my priorities in check. Mao's exasperated voice helps me in much the same way. Again? Miharu's absences have been growing more and more frequent. She can't afford to miss too many days due to her scholarship, but I'm sure she's aware of that without me having to point it out. Maybe Naomi found something out. Naomi offers an apologetic bow before leaving the classroom. Mom's coming to Lionhouse though, so this will be the first time in a while that we both leave school at the same time. Oh Jesus. As for Naomi, she seems somewhat different today, especially considering how nervous she tends to be whenever she visits our classroom. Our classroom. News of Miharu's absence is worrying Naomi. That is what prompted her to come here on her own. Naomi heard about how much Miharu worked from Rinka. That led her to assume that Miharu would have regular shift schedule, even in this situation. Coincidentally enough, Naomi comes across Miharu the moment she enters. Oh right, she is wearing gloves on the maid uniform as well, I just noticed. Naomi takes a seat on her own. The male client direct a gaze toward her. Naomi fails to pick up on the jealousy felt by the others as they do so. I don't want to say we hear normal welcome from her when she's walking. Yeah, it's always just like, okay, Nisa. Roughly half an hour later, Miharu returns in her school uniform and plops down in front of Naomi. Time has flown by for Naomi because she's had her face buried in a book the whole time. Miharu isn't comfortable discussing things with Naomi at her workplace as opposed to somewhere like Lionhouse, but she also knows she has no real alternative. Naomi braves a few quick glances at the other customers, confirming that neither Scale nor Federico are present. Naomi gets straight to the point. It's plain to see how exhausted Miharu looks. The bags under her eyes and absent-minded gaze are enough to tell her that Miharu has been sacrificing sleep for the sake of research.
金メダルという情報からしてスポーツ関連を重点的に調べているけれど、このままでは今回の選定で僕は脱落してしまう。そうなれば僕の持っているリンカのカードがスケールに知られるリスクが高まる。先輩にリンカ先輩に相談してみませんか？リンカ先輩は
Yeah, Alan has not been big in this week, which is interesting to see. Naomi's made sure not to tell Rinka about any of this until today. She understands that Miharu doesn't want Rinka worrying about her. There's a limit to how far one can drag it out though. Naomi knows having that attitude is how one can lose what's precious to them. In her own case, it was her life that she lost, so she knows this better than anyone. But Alan's just relaxing. Alan's gonna swoop in on Sunday and just fucking eliminate, I don't know who, and then suddenly it's only just going to be us 3.
それはダメだ。リンカに心配をかけるわけにもいかないし、リンカの情報が他の参加者に知られるデメリットが生まれるかもしれない。
That would be funny though. Miharu's immediate answer pains Naomi. She casts her head down, shaking multiple times. And it's again Miharu. No, I don't think so. She doesn't want her feelings to pour out all at once. She wants to explain things bit by bit. That's why she takes her time before looking back up at Miharu. The problem is though, Alan is the last one who could say something. Like, he can watch everyone else do what they want and then he can go, haha. He won't elect someone else has already elected though, because then he would have to give up his own card, and he doesn't do that. Or like the last time there was a thing he didn't do it. Also, thank you so much for the posture check and the hydrogen. Just a second. At this point, I think we know Alan's next plan. No, we do not. We have no clue. Halo years of numeral double digits.
そうじゃないです。リスクとかデメリットとかそういうのはもういいです。私だって先輩が危険な目に遭うのも嫌です。でもそんなのお構いなし。
I wish people in games and in manga and everywhere would just learn to communicate better. I mean, it would destroy a bunch of stuff happening in the story if people would just communicate, but like, please, talk! Talk to each other, I swear to God! No, embrace messages as a tragedy, reject communication. Naomi's words take Miharu back. They remind of Rinka's despair over losing Naomi. Miharu opted to work with Gale to eliminate Yu precisely because she couldn't handle seeing Rinka like that. However, Rinka put herself in significant danger to eliminate Yu. That's why Miharu is resolute in not wanting to allow that to happen again. But that's not all. The relief she felt over Rinka's joy that Naomi was alive was undeniable. The foundation of Rinka's happiness had become clear to her. Reject communication, embrace confrontation over peanut butter. What? Why peanut butter? No, Miharu's gaze is the one cast downward. It isn't often for Naomi to see Miharu speak without confidence. That's why she puts every ounce of kindness she has into her next words. You were really mean to me, but you still actually mean a lot to me, so don't die. Any kind of minor inconvenience. She stops to take a deep breath before continuing. Naomi is a very good bean. Miharu notices that Naomi's attitude toward her has changed, not to mention the fact that Naomi herself hasn't noticed. Miharu smiles and then nods her head. Ah. Miharu takes a long time to finish her sentences sometimes. I think she's already done and then like the next part of the voice line starts playing. Naomi offers her thanks to Miharu with a look of relief on her face. She finishes her previously ordered coffee au lait before brushing the tears from her eyes. Oh, baby! Crying when you have contact lenses in is horrible, I imagine. I wonder if there's any story where the focus in on characters actually talking to each other problems. On the other hand, would you actually read that? No, wait, actually, a manga I finished recently, Blue Flag, actually has people talking it out repeatedly. And the author in the afterword was very specifically like, I thought this was important. Like, they had this entire point in the backstory where they would explain, when I was younger and read and watched stuff, I was always so confused why these people wouldn't talk each other, so I made my manga to be about talking. Even if there's no resolution immediately gained, they talk it out. They talk about stuff that's happening around them, and this manga is really good. It's getting an anime, I think summer season this year. I hope the anime stays very close to the manga. I hope they don't change anything or censor it or something. If I can recommend it to anyone, please read Blue Flag. Or No Flag in the original, which is absolutely the same name. This was very good. It had a bunch of problems. It had its romance. It had its teenagers not knowing what to do with their life. It had real characters. They felt very real. I can definitely recommend it a lot. And sometimes, and now it's finished, I can safely recommend it, because at some point during the story I was very upset with it. Thinking, okay, depending on where the author is going with this, I might not finish reading it, but the author went in a direction I could definitely support. And I wish more people will read it. So if you have the time, please read Blue Flag. The time I reincarnated as myself talking about my problems. Sounds unrealistic. They make their way to Lionhouse together after that. The lights are off too. Oh no. Oh fuck no. This feels suspicion to Naomi, who had overheard Rinka and Mao's conversation earlier in the day. Part of her begins to worry that something's happened. Oh no. Oh no, fade to black. Oh shit. Oh fuck no! I make my way over to the base we used to prevent user attacks the week prior. The desolate view and dry wind almost feels nostalgic. But to be more accurate, it's Odette who brought me here after showing up at Lionhouse out of nowhere. It was my choice to come, so I can't quite say I got dragged out here.
Yo, Aaron. Toか言って、もう分かってるんだろ？スケールの野郎が動かしてるパパラッチ仲間はてめえともコネクションがあるみたいだし。
Odette told me very little on the way here.
私はもうすぐ脱落だ。だからよ、アラン、てめえと決着をつけに来た。
That's about all she told me. Alan remained silent, displaying as little emotion as ever.
ああ、そうさ。こいつとはジジイの家で一度戦ったきり。どっちが強いのかまだ証明してなかったからな。リンカ、てめえにはこの勝敗を見届けてもらう。先におねんねした方が。
That's why you... Are you kidding me?
勝つのは私だけどな。
僕と戦う。僕が貴様の挑戦を受けるとでも。
理由なんていらねえよ。一度きりの人生。私たちにとっちゃ。Yeah,
technically you guys can definitely fight with no regard to life.
それにもし背中を向けて逃げるってんならそれはそれでてめえが再起不能になるだけ。
So why is Alan still here though? Is this literally his base?
最後なんだ。ちった付き合ってくれよ。
The cold tone through which Odette's words are delivered frightens me. I may know that she's easy to talk to now, but the cool-headed attitude of hers is still scary. Maybe this is the killing intent that gets mentioned in books and films. There's one thing nagging at me though. The police... Yeah, I know, the police is searching for him. I don't know, I thought he would have a different base. I thought this is something they would have found together.
何を驚いてるんだ。
いや、だってそんなオーデットさんが。
It's you know? There's no way I wouldn't be surprised. Miho just told me plenty about Federico and Stale, but I never thought they would be able to eliminate her. She may thread a thin line at all times, but I can't imagine her making a misstep. In fact, she's more likely to run full speed ahead, laughing all the while.
この女に同情しているのか。 君らしいな。
そういうわけじゃないけど。
てめえもこいつには随分甘い口調だよな。
Probably remind him of his little sister or something. I honestly find it hard to believe that she's going to be eliminated next based on her composure. She brought it up upon herself to say this is her last chance though. She must be fully prepared for what lies ahead. Odette is going to die. She's my enemy, I know that much, and yet I can't help but remember how we stopped you together and brought Naomi back.
私、スケールさんの未練を知ってる。
だからなんだ。
私は助けてもらった。だからせめて。
だからなんだってんだ。
Odette glares at me. Her tone is dark. That alone prevents me from saying anything else.
私を侮辱するつもりだったら、てめえからやってやろうか。
そんなんじゃ。
お人よしも大概にした方がいい。僕がいることを忘れているのか。スケール・ジョーンズの未練は僕も欲しいカードだ。力ずくで教えてもらおう。
そうかい。そこまでてめえは理由にこだわるってわけだ。
I gradually come to understand what they are talking about. My own exclamation has served as the spark Alan requires. He said he had no reason to fight Odette, but now he does.
守ってやるよ、クソガキ。
Excuse me?
目的があるならば、僕はためらわない。
Defeat Odette and get information regarding numeral 9's regard out of me. That's the goal he has set his sights on. No! I choose to observe the fight from outside the storehouse. They likely have guns on them, so it only makes sense to head outside before they start firing at one another. I might not die if I get caught in a crossfire, but I still get badly hurt. The wall should be thick enough to stop any stray bullets. I can't avert my eyes though, I'm determined to see their fight through. It's their way of settling things. Odette likely doesn't need a proper reason. She's considered Ellen a worthy foe and simply wants to beat him for her own satisfaction. I'd be lying if I said I understood that thought process. Regardless, I have to see it through. My reason is simple too. This is a fight that encompasses the very life of Odette Malencon. I guess Ellen wants Florida Man gone. We all want Florida Man gone. I'll do it myself, if need be. 30 minutes later, the fight shows no signs of ending. Neither have been able to land any significant blows, so I assume they're trying to wear one another out. The intent is made clear by their each and every action. I can't seem to... Shut up, Duolingo! I can't seem to take my eyes off them, not even for a second. I have no interest in martial arts and stuff, but I guess I understand the appeal of competitive fighting if it's as entrancing as this. Remove sword of the film from the game. I am fate! Exactly. Oh, wait. I guess they only gave her the Suji with the jacket. Not only have they both lost their guns now, but they've also destroyed them. How they managed that, I'll never know. I've handled one myself now, so I know precisely how sturdy they are. Both have blades on them too, but even those have been broken. The weapons seem almost useless though. Not a single bullet or knife wound has been inflicted on either of them. Both are sweating profusely, but they clearly have much more left in their tanks. Another 10 minutes passed. The exhaustion must have hit both of them at the same time, judging by how the nature of the fight changes. They are now keeping a distance from one another as opposed to constantly rushing in before. Like before. Odette is the first to step in and attempt to drag the fight out of the stalemate it has reached. She must have put all the meager energy she's recovered into her act. She launches a massive kick at him outside of his blocking range. He manages to avoid it, albeit barely. Following that, his fist connects with Odette's face, or so it seems. She uses her forehead to take the brunt of his blow. His expression makes it clear that he's reeling from pain, which Odette takes advantage of by kneeing him straight in the solar plexus. Ooh! She keeps up a relentless assault following this, not allowing the opportunity to go to waste. Each blow is ferocious enough that I'd be knocked out cold after one hit, but he's taking every single one of them. He must have been biding his time while taking the hits because he finds the right moment to claw at Odette's neck. One can't build up muscle in her throat, so the resulting damage is clear. She comes to a complete halt for a brief second, and now Alan launches his own attack. While Odette's assault was akin to a wild beast, Alan's is more serene. There's a rhythm to... Wait, I didn't read that completely. There's a rhythm to it almost like a dance. His movements are completely different from before. Not like Odette is simply allowing herself to be attacked either. She isn't dodging or blocking the incoming blows, she's biting at them. The more blood that flows, the harder, deeper she bites. The fight is far from over. Okay, so who's going to break up this fight? No one! The streets begin to empty out around 10 p.m. Meanwhile, Naomi Miharu is still waiting in front of Lionhouse for Rinka's return. It's far more humid at night during June and it is cold. There's no response from Rinka to any messages sent, and phone calls are met with the response that her phone is off.
いい加減帰ってもいいんだよ、羊さん。もっとも僕はリンカが心配だから
Something's going to happen.
帰りを待つけれど。
And I don't really want to see what. I wanted to see the Sunday elimination before I inadvertently have to end stream soon, because I cannot go over my time today as I could last time. Ah!
大丈夫です。うまく言い訳しますから。
You make up a good excuse for being out after 10 p.m. on a Saturday. Wait, it's a Saturday night. Why couldn't you be out? You're 16. No, she's 15. She's 1 year younger than Rinka. If you go by the logic of her being an underclassman, at least. Miharu silently nods in response.
大変だな。あれだけ自信満々にリンカを諭した僕に頼られてしまうのだからね。
Listen, if this was Sunday evening shortly before the divine selection, that would be fine. But it's Saturday, so there's still a bunch of hours left before we hit the divine selection.
大変なんて思わないですよ。
And that's always a little scary because for some reason they put a bunch of stuff happening in the few hours between Saturday evening and Sunday. Miharu says nothing in return. She doesn't need to. Her gentle smile is more than enough to reassure Naomi. Are they still fighting? Things start to wrap up after another 30 minutes. Neither are moving as well as they were before. In fact, they're both so exhausted that even I might be able to outrun them. As if the fight wasn't spectacular enough already, it ends with a cross count of all things. I can't tell if Alan is out cold or not. His eyes are completely blank. As for Dad, her eyes are closed, but she has a big grin on her face. With that said, she lets herself fall unconscious. Alan watches as she does so. It's hard to tell what he's thinking. And then he collapses too. Wait, doesn't that technically mean Alan has won though? He's the last one to fall unconscious. They're having a shonen battle anime fight. Yeah, that's exactly what they're doing. They're out cold, but they're still breathing. I guess exhaustion has finally forced their bodies to shut down. I'm not too sure if they managed to settle things with this, but what I do know is that Alan was the last to fall unconscious. Still, there was nothing settled by this. They just pummeled each other until they passed out. I'd be the winner here where I have to have a gun on me. That is a very good question. Rinka can say anything now. She's judge and executioner. I probably have to tend to their wounds now that it's ended like this. Of course it does. I end up having to rely on my memory to find the nearest convenience store. Once I do, I grab a first aid kit, some food and some water to bring back. The journey there and back takes around an hour. Odette's gone by the time I get back. She must have left the moment she woke up, despite having no energy whatsoever. She's crazy. There's one thing I can say for sure though, that moment when she collapsed is probably the last time I'll see her in the real world. She really was a free spirit right till the end. Unlike Odette, someone else is still collapsed on the ground. Alan still hasn't come to. How will you go back home now though? You don't have a car and Odette has left. And the last time you got here was with a car, with Odette. So how will you get back home? After I say that, I wipe off Alan's sweat and place a cooling pad on his forehead. Then I put an hour towel under his head as a makeshift pillow. Just walk! His profuse sweating and bright red face worry me. I know what he wants to get out of me, but I just can't bring myself to leave him in this state. Seeing him laid out like this makes him look younger than usual, probably due to his height and build when standing. I can't even tell the time since my phone's dead. It's probably the middle of the night, Rinka. I can tell that I'm hungry though, so I make my way to a corner of the stores to eat the food I picked up. I take a moment to consider the fact that I've become anything but a normal person before chowing on my food. Alan finds himself dreaming. It is the first time he's had a dream unrelated to the Card of Fate in a long time. You're always so reckless, you know that? It is a dream entwined with his past, a past of great importance. Bruh. Bruh. Wow. Wow, hello. Hello. That probably wasn't important. Nah. It's always so funny to me, like, oh, I bought a first aid kit and immediately knew how to treat all of these wounds. Yes, okay, I already drank in preparation for this. Thank you for the hydrate time. I already took the bottle and had a sip because I knew this was coming. Alan wakes up just as I finish my food. The fact that he sits up so quickly surprises me a bit. I'm not quite sure what he was saying, but it sounded like he was calling out to someone. Of course, questioning about it wouldn't be a smart decision.
Kimika.
He comes to grips with the situation after noticing the sheet on his forehead and towel under his head. Nipple out gang. He doesn't have a nipple. Typical anime. Boy, guy, man, whatever. No nipples. No, of course he doesn't. I place my trash inside the convenience store plastic bag and then take a bottle of water over to Alan. Saying that, he takes a deep swig of the water I've just handed to him. When he stands up afterwards, it serves to remind me just how big he actually is. I'm not sure where to take the conversation now. After a bit of deliberation, I come up with a certain proposal. It's illegal. I've gotten so used to them not having nipples, it's weird when they actually do. There's no immediate response, so I can only assume that he's taken by surprise. It feels like the best option for me though, especially when Alan and Odette's conversation hinted toward Alan knowing plenty about scale. I'm not sure if I'll end up electing him myself or not, but it's a fact that he'll come across my own information at some point. Knowing his cause of death will allow me to protect myself should he decide to elect me at the very least. That's why it's best if I get what I can out of Alan now. Oh! Once Alan has finished telling me what he discovered about scale, I reveal the contents of his regret card. Gold medal. I feel like there's something that links to his regret in the info Alan told me. No new card seems to have formed on his end, but I'm sure he'll be able to put the pieces together quickly enough. Tomorrow's Sunday, but I'd rather open the store if I can. I'm a bit paranoid when my phone's dead, but right now the sheer exhaustion is my biggest issue. We should know about what they she will probably think about it and then we'll actually get the info. I hope at least. He doesn't respond, so I give up and leave. I'm about half an hour's walk from the closest station. The idea of having to walk the same path back already has me reeling. But she's actually just fucking doing it. Do they even have trains running at that hour? It's 1 AM. Shinjuku may be a major stop in Tokyo, but the last trains don't run much later than this. Yeah. I think they run until 2 maybe, and the first one start up at 5 again, so technically it's not that long. But on the other hand, if you're actually stuck at the train station at 2 AM and you have to wait until 5 AM to get somewhere, that's horrible. Meanwhile, Miharu and Naomi are still waiting in front of Lion House for Rinka's return. Naomi. That's a bad joke. Naomi, stop talking.
羊さん。はい。そのくだらない想像は今すぐやめてくれないかい？
Naomi feels a chill run down her spine. While it wasn't exactly a joke, she swears not to bring that topic up ever again.
しかし、これ以上遅くまでここにいると、やがて警官に声をかけられてしまうかもしれない。終電もなくなってしまったし、困ったものだ。もっとも、日付で言う今夜に僕がこのまま死ぬのであれば、帰ろうが帰る前が、もうどちらでもいいね。あるいは、民家へ向けた衣装をかけ始めた方がいいのかもしれないね。
みはる先輩。
Why is your first one always? What do you mean always breaking and entering? Huh? When did I ever say that? Excuse me? This is slander. Naomi fails to find the right response to match how deadly serious Miharu seems. It doesn't help that she feels responsible for the situation too. Miharu could have used the time to possibly find information about Scale had she not suggested relying on Rinka. Those memories may disappear should Miharu be eliminated though. Even if they don't vanish completely, they will become far too blurry to recall, more so than even her earliest childhood memories. This even applies to when the two of them let their feelings clash. The idea of losing that experience scares her.
大丈夫です。先輩なら。ミカ先輩なら。
Naomi's voice is audibly quivering. Both know her fate is entirely unfounded.
君は泣き虫だな。その素直さは時折羨ましくもあるよ。
Miharu feels at peace for a reason she cannot understand. If what she is currently feeling toward Naomi is similar to how Rinka feels, then she might just... There she is! Woo! The sudden voice takes Naomi and Miharu by surprise. We were waiting for you because your phone is dead and we thought something happened to you, bitch! Naomi dashes over to Rinka without a second thought. Rather, she attempts to before tripping over her own feet.
それはこちらのセリフでもあるね。男性といた。ということはないのだろう。
途中まで男の人といたけど、ってなんで知ってるの？
Oh my fucking god, Rinka, you're so dense.
とりあえずライオン館に入ろう。二人とも。
Oh my fucking god, Rinka, you're so dumb. Naomi's obviously flustered, whereas Miharu looks like she's just seen a ghost, and Rinka has no idea what's going on, but she takes him inside the store anyway. Following that, it takes an entire hour for everything to be cleared up. And if I was mean, I would stop right here and say, haha, you read the rest tomorrow because I'm on my fucking time slot. But on the other hand, apparently now we get the divine selection, so I will continue. Rinka's obviously operating on a different brain level entirely beyond all of us. Yeah, she's on that weirdo straight thinking lane, whereas we're like, everyone is in love with you and you just don't see it. Parker's voice echoes throughout the Court of Fate once more. Tonight marks the 8th round of Divine Selection. Only 6 of the original 12 participants are left. Numerals 1, 2, 3, 9, 11 and 12. One is guaranteed to be eliminated tonight though. None other than Odette, the very first person I'll have elected. You sure you want to continue? It could be a long night. I will. I think. This isn't like a Phoenix Wright case. Can't take that long. No. Parker won't let them talk too much before the elimination, so I'm hoping it's not too long. Odette remains as calm as ever, even with the impending elimination. That really pisses me off. Everyone can see how you're floundering, my good dude. Everyone. Ouch. Ah! My impatience gets the better of me, causing me to shout. All it does is cause Odette to flash me a smug grin. That stupid face drives me mad.
まるで早く指名したいとそういう風にお見受けされますわね。いいでしょう。それでは今宵も選定を始めますわ。
Parker makes the announcement loud and clear. She's doing it to show me up too. Little Brad thinks she's better just cause she's a goddess. Federico, you're fucking awful. The standard election procedure follows. It's a sight I've gotten way too used to.
私はない。
Okay. Numeral 1 passes. Next up is Miharu. Based on everything up till now, she'll pass. I'm the only one out of our alliance that'll be electing someone tonight after all. Oh, Federico.
僕は11番。あなたを指名するよ。
何?
He's the only one who actually didn't think this would happen. What's going on here? I can't hide my panic over what just happened. Odette catches my eye in the midst of my breakdown. She's giving me the same smuggest grin as always, almost like she knew things would play out like this. If Miharu is electing her, then I don't need to, right?
3番様はいかがなさいますか?
俺はし
I cut myself off.
いや俺も11番を指名だ
Ah, no. That was close. The shock almost made me forget that Odette has my information as well. Miharu will get her hands on that info if she eliminates Odette. Don't tell me that's been her plan from the beginning.
何?
Doesn't sound like Scale expected this either, judging by his expression. Can't see him putting her up to this. There's nothing in it for him.
あら、重複してしまいましたわね。
Oh boy.
けれど、少々お待ちください。このまま時計の針が一周してからまたお伺いいたします。
Scale's right after me now that we're down to so few people.
2番を指名だ。
He elects Miharu. We knew this would happen. He did not know this would happen. He's electing someone as well. Miharu of all people too. He's smiling, but not that fake one he usually has. He looks like he's holding back a real wicked laugh. I can't believe this. I never trusted them in the first place, but I never expected them to pull this stunt. Numeral 1 doesn't seem the least bit concerned about Miharu being elected either. Guess they really did part ways.
受けたまわりました。お後は11番様はどうなさいますか？
私はなしだ。わかってんだろ。
私はあくまで選定の管理者。あなた様の本来の運命は見えていても、これから待ち受ける可能性はわかりませんわ。
ごたくはいいんだ。
Parker pouts at Odette before directing her attention to Alan.
僕も指名はしない。
So what happens now? Federico clueless.
それではまずは2番様と3番様の指名の重複について対応いたします。ご自分のカードを1枚オープンにすることで指名の優先権を取得することができますわ。
俺は自分の指名をオープンにするぜ。これで優先権は俺のものだ。
Everyone here knows my name, so it's no big deal.
待ってくれ。優先権を取得する意思確認は番号の若い僕からするものではないのかい？僕も優先権を取得させていただくよ。
承知いたしましたわ。これでお互いに1枚ずつカード公開の意思をお見せいただきました。
Okay.
くす。僕はこれ以上カードを見せることはしないさ。どうするんだい？ 3番さん。
てめえ。
I glare at Odette. She isn't laughing anymore, she looks like a wild beast now. Her sight is fixed square on me like I'm her prey even now. This might be the first time she's ever looked at me like this. What'll happen if the election gets cancelled? I can elect her next week, but then I'll need to reveal another card if she opts to protect herself. Even if I don't elect her, she'll just elect me instead. Even though she hasn't revealed a single card of her own, that means she'll break right through my own protective measures. If we both elect each other, then we'll be eliminated together.
3番様も指名はなしでよろしいでしょうか。
Parker poses a question with a smirk. I ain't got time to think about how to make it through divine selection anymore. I never surpass Odette if I back down here. This is my best chance to put her to sleep once and for all. So long as I can beat her, then.
Mate!
Thing is, Odette should have all 3 of my cards. She can still protect herself if I go ahead with this. Then I'd have to reveal my regret as well. I stay quiet. My brain starts processing thoughts at a rate I've never experienced before. Wow, he's thinking. I've been with her long enough to know that she wouldn't just take an election from me lying down. She isn't electing me because she can't. She made it seem like she knew my regret, but that was a bluff. Which means there's only one thing to do.
俺の死因もくれてやる。だから俺にあいつを倒す権利をくれ。
承りましたわ。それではこれより3番様による11番様の指名を行いますわ。
おお。
The sudden shaking takes me by surprise. My platform begins to rise above the curve of fate. It takes me to the upper stratum, which looks limitless.
ほとんど変わらないんだな。したぞ。
Odette told me about the upper stratum before, but it really isn't that different from below. All that's changed is only me and Odette are here standing opposite one another, just as 2 of us rising together.
まさかてめえに指名されちまうとはな。
Oh, she has a jacket now.
強がりのつもりか。少しはビビってみせろよ。これから死ぬんだぜ、あんたは。
No, Federico. She won't.
何を言ってる。私もてめえももともとすでに死んじまってるんじゃねえか。怖がることなんてありはしないさ。ゲームに負けちまって悔しいな。最後だから言っておくぜ。てめえと駆け回るのは退屈はしなかったさ。
Oh, that sounds solemn as she says this. Maybe in another life you two could have been friends.
てめえ、何釣られてやがるんだ。とにゃめえな。裏切りなんて向いてねえんだよ。
この野郎。
あらあら、仲良しさんですわね。
どこから？
I completely forgot about Parker thanks to Odette.
女神の選定では皆様因果の時という運命の糸でつながっています。これまでも今までの選定の際もあなた方のように仲良しさんたちはいらっしゃいました。私その瞬間を見るのがとても心地よいのですわ。
いい趣味してるな。
ありがとうございますわ。
勘違いするな。俺たちは別に仲良しなんかじゃねえ。利害関係で繋がっていて。
No, you're eliminating her because you're scared for your own life.
させるってだけだ。
あらあら、素直じゃありませんね。
うっせえ。いいからとっとと指名させてくれ。
そうですわね。今宵はもう一組指名がございますし、
Alright, yeah, we have
あまり
two.
時間をかけてもいられませんね。
Is Federico at Tsundere? No! My card book starts to glow as she says that. All my cards pop out and start floating in front of me. Odette told me how the election process works, so I don't hesitate. All I need to do is pick out her 3 cards.
指名オデット・マランソン。
最後にてめえに一つ聞いておきたいことがある。
死因足。
私はよ、人生を楽しむために生きてきた。てめえは何のために生きたいんだ。
The question causes me to stop for a moment. It doesn't take long for me to answer though.
生きるのに理由なんていらないだろ。
そうね。てめえも案外履き違えちゃいないってわけだ。
ざれ言だな。あなたらしくない。未練。出産。
All 3 cards float away from me once I pick them out. Once they reach the middle of the Court of Fate, they come together and form a triangular shape. The light surrounding them gets bigger and bigger until it eventually envelopes the whole area. As for Odette, she looks more at peace than I've ever seen her before. Damn it all. I found myself on a ship under attack. A bunch of old-fashioned pirates were responsible. The ship was packed to the brim with weapons and illegally obtained jewels and crap, so they were probably here for them. Of course, the shipping company would never lose it to a single boat, not with Odette Malencon at the helm. Things were different this time around though. Not only were the pirates working together with the group she wasn't on good terms with, but they planned on sinking the ship and killing everyone on board too. There was no way out when you were surrounded by 8 ships. All of Odette's crewmates were dead. Of course, they took plenty of the pirate crew down with them. The ship itself looked like hell on earth. There just happened to be a man from the Italian mafia on board too. Odette was aware of that and the fact that he was currently on the run. Just then, a massive shock rocked the ship. It began to break apart due to the damage it had received. Odette judged others based on their skill on the high seas. To that effect, the mafioso was nothing more than your average Joe. Part of the decking that had broken off was launched right at him, and was none other than Odette, who used her body as a shield. That was a fact that she would never admit to. Even if she survived, she would just chalk it up to coincidence. The undeniable truth, however, was that Odette used her own body to protect the mafioso. The ship jolted violently afterwards before it broke completely apart. Both Odette and the mafioso were crushed by the wreckage. Great! I find myself clutching my chest when I regain consciousness. My heart's throbbing like mad. I'm sweating buckets despite it only being a dream. I saw the exact moment of Odette's death. I can't believe it. My eyes feel dry all of a sudden. The sheer shame I feel takes me over. Parker appears once more, chuckling in a manner similar to Miharu. She tells me all the cards Odette has in her possession and gives me the option to pick one. All 3 of my cards are included in that list. She could have protected herself at any moment. My platform begins to descend as Parker's voice fades. The movement doesn't take me by surprise this time because I'm so preoccupied with everything that's just happened. How ironic that the card I pick is the one Miharu's going to reveal anyway. Doesn't matter to me anymore though. Odette gave her life to protect me. She even had all my cards at her disposal, yet she never tried to block my election. And I'll never be able to find out why. I'm the one who eliminated her, but... Well, if it isn't the consequences of Federico's own actions. I tried to kick the stand in front of me, but I just fall over myself without making any contact. Parker has returned to the lower stratum at some point, speaks to me with a grin. She really pisses me off. Everything pisses me off now. Well, that's your own fault though. Reap so fine. Parker takes 2 cards from me and 1 card from Miharu. The participants' card box begin to glow except for mine. I got Miharu's card when I eliminated Odette, so there's no reason for mine to react. I doubt anyone can hear me at this point. My emotions are shot and they're falling deeper and deeper down this bottomless vault. One of them must try to walk off the platforms. No. You can't. Oh. Oh? After Federico has his election, it is Miharu's turn to be elected by scale. I'm honestly a bit worried at first, but Miharu comes back safe and sound. Finding her and Naomi outside Lionhouse on Saturday night sure took me by surprise. After hearing what they had to say, I was so glad that I both made my way back home and found the courage to negotiate with Alan. We spent all of Sunday tracking down the info pertaining to Scale's cause of death and regret. It shouldn't have been too hard because we already knew the information on the cards themselves, but it still took almost a day. I doubt that we've been able to manage it without Miharu and Naomi's help. They should both be sleeping beside me in the real world right now. I could have elected him myself, but I didn't because it would risk Miharu losing her own means of protection. That in turn increased the risk of other participants getting a hold of more information, but it remained the safest option. Wait, so Miharu has all of Scale's cards, so that's why she could protect herself from him electing her? Is that what happened?
好きにしろ。どうせ貴様には関係ないのだろう。はは。やられたね。ちくしょう。
Unfortunately, I have to agree with Parker's sentiment. My heart is racing. It's entirely possible that I could have lost Miharu if Scale did something crazy, and that's the last thing I want.
今宵の脱落者は1名。これをもって
And I forgot the rules for the game. Yeah, me too.
終了といたしましょう。
I don't know how Miharu survived now. I guess it's because she has all the cards for the person who tried to elect her as well. So she just can go like, nope. Divine selection ends with Parker's farewell. My consciousness makes its way back to my body in the real world, but I don't go back empty-handed. It's nothing but a simple idea for now, but a certain possibility has made itself known to me.
Achievement unlocked! 8 week!
見事だ。オデット・マランソン。
Alan speaks to himself inside the storehouse. He figured that Odette had already obtained Federico's information. However, she opted to accept death over using that information to protect herself from his election. Federico's realization after the fact would leave him perplexed and aware that he would never surpass her. Had she opted to protect herself, then he would have likely backed down in order to avoid revealing his regret when taking into consideration that Miharu Hibinada had also elected her. On the off chance he did decide to reveal his regret, someone could easily elect him the week after. Odette opted not to pursue that possibility. Instead, she was content in deciding her own fate. Her death was a gallant one. Her way of life may have differed from the ideal Alan pursued, but it merited respect nonetheless. Alan had been opposed to the concept up till now. He's a firm believer in approaching everything from a logical perspective. Emotions have no place when it comes to actions. Doing so will blur the concept of a black and white world. In its place would be an ambiguous reality in the results of action taken. He relinquished the name given to him by his parents in order to emancipate himself from his past. In its place, he chose Alan Scorpion, a name wouldn't associate with his homeland Lavinia. With a new name came the start of a new life. That was what he decided. He would use his name to bind himself and build up a massive fortune as a jeweler. They were fueled by nothing but beyond the emotion he believed was unnecessary. The name that he picked for himself became one he cannot abandon. Its appearance on his name card is proof of that.
僕自身が人一倍感情的だからこそ意図的に感情を捨てようとしていたなど
What's this now? Ellen backstory this week?
否定できないな
You're desperate, aren't you? Kamabuchi Keiko said as much to him before elimination. He may have loved her off, but he couldn't ignore his irritation as he elected her. She saw straight through him. He knew this, and yet he made every effort to pretend otherwise. Ellen is desperate to live. What? The look in her eyes pushes him forward. Ellen has already lost divine selection. He has finally come to this realization. That alone isn't enough to make him give up on life, however. The numerous lives that have come to an end thus far have begun to stir his emotions. Okay. Okay, but also this is a new week and you are just now waking up and you will go to school, so that means there's going to be a bunch of things happening and we will not do that tonight. No. We will not do that tonight. No. Whoa, we shall go back to our favorite home screen. Thanks for the stream. Yeah. Listen. Give me a few more seconds before you already say bye. Hold on. But yeah, look at that. We finished another week. So we were definitely getting somewhere. Which is very nice. Oh. And I say, what day is it today? Today is Wednesday, which means Friday is going to be more Audience Sphere. Thank you so much for the pet! Audience Sphere, where we also have a bunch left to do. And then Saturday may or may not be something I'm not quite sure yet if I will do or not. So look forward to that. It may be Audience Sphere, it may be something. Excuse me! Something else. Oh my god. Okay, thank you Hiccup for showing up at the end of stream. Thanks. But yeah, I wish you all a very good night. Thank you so much for coming. Two things. First, I shall put on the end screen. Second, I shall put on the ending song. Ta-da-da. Thanks for stream again. Yes. And third, I shall give you all the right message so we can rate someone. And we shall rate Alice Soy, who I just had on my Twitch, because Alice Soy is apparently playing Edna and Harvey. And I love Edna and Harvey. That's a fantastic game. I don't know how it is in English. I only played it in German, but the game is fantastic regardless, probably. So, get ready. Wait, I haven't given you the message yet. Here's the message. Now get ready. Thank you so much for coming tonight, everyone. I see you all soon. And bye-bye.